This podcast is part of the Planet Broadcasting Network.
Visit planetbcasting.com for more podcasts from our great mates.
Red hot comic book movie news, shooting up your butthole. The Weekly Planet, the Weekly Planet.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Weekly Planet, official podcast of comicbookmovie.com, where we talk movies, comics, TV shows. My name is James, also known as Mr. Sunday. With me, as always, my co-host, Nicholas Gunfingers Mason.
I'm here. I'm fired up for podcasting.
We were nearly fired right down.
We nearly fired right down because prior to this, we did we played a video game for our YouTube show Caravan of Garbage.
That'll be not this week's. It'll be next week's. It is spectacularly bad.
It is spectacularly bad, and also we played it for about 40 minutes, and then we clicked stop on the old little video game capture thing, and there was a couple of minutes where we thought it did not record.
Yeah.
And we would have to
Go
throw
back
the
in
audio
there
in the bin and start it again.
And the thought of that I couldn't.
But then you went away. I assumed you were going to do what you often do, which is snap your laptop in half and throw it to separate
corners of the
room. But what you did instead is you went for an angry wee.
Yep.
And
just
then you came
furious.
Furious wee.
Do not go in there.
Yeah.
Ace Ventura, Mason. That's an Ace Ventura reference.
I love it.
Thank you.
Smoking.
Yes, that's right.
Your wee was smoke. But anyway, the point is you came back and it had fixed itself somehow. How? We don't know.
I guess it was just because it was a bigger file.
Yeah,
it
it was
took longer.
cycling.
But yeah, this week, actually, the Caravan of Garbage is another Spider-Man game, which at the time we're like, oh, this is no good. But in hindsight,
Real
way
good.
better.
Yeah, so good.
So yeah, that'll be up on Tuesday and hopefully a little bit earlier for Patronians.
So in a couple of weeks you'll see this one, and
Yeah.
it was
horseshit.
Yeah,
like next to level.
that's the way.
Yeah.
That's in many ways. What have you been up to? What's going on?
That's everything.
Pretty good, yeah.
Yeah. I feel like we've been doing this for longer than we have because we just did that for 40 minutes. I'm
Right.
already just
Oh, you're
burnt.
ready to go.
Yeah.
I'm ready for a bit of banter.
Oh, really?
I love a bit of banter.
Okay, if you want a bit more banter, I'm happy to sit here in silence while you banter. You happy with that?
No,
All right.
I don't want to do it anymore.
Okay. Do you want to talk about Wonder Woman?
Okay, let's talk about it.
It looks like Patty Jenkins is going to come back for the sequel, which is no surprise.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is, it's now the highest US domestic DCEU film.
Uh-huh.
So of the current crop of DC films, your Man of Steel, your Suicide Squad, your BVS,
Yep.
it's now the highest grossing.
What I like about that is that what I like whenever anything's the highest grossing anything, I love all the caveats they have to add
Yes.
to the back of it.
So
it's
it didn't beat The Dark Knight.
It always has to be.
Didn't beat Batman 89.
Yeah, they have to, and again, I really like Wonder Woman, and I
Yeah.
think it's good that it's getting these accolades, and that people are paying money to see it. I think that's all good. But I love the fact that they have to keep adding on, like they have to give it its own category that it's the best in. Anytime anybody does that, I love it.
Absolutely.
So this is the highest grossing DCEU. Wait, it's on track.
No, it is. It's
Oh.
done it. And I think that's really a result of, it didn't have as big a opening weekends, but the drop-off has been really good. Like people have obviously been saying, hey, this is okay.
Sure, yeah.
Go and see it. Yeah. I mean, I don't hate those other two films, three films, but this is leagues ahead. Yeah. And I'm glad it's doing
Justice League's ahead.
well. Yeah. And we'll look. I was trying to do a bit of banter, Mason. I couldn't.
It's okay.
I should have warmed up at the start with you.
It's not for everyone, and you do need some banter warm ups. You're absolutely correct. Just go down your local chippy and have a chat over at the fish and chip shop and have a bit of banter.
Another thing happened that wasn't as good this week. The Inhumans trailer.
Yeah.
Well, I would say mixed and negative.
I didn't
would probably
hate
be the
it. I
response.
didn't hate it.
You don't think it's a bland choice of.
Oh,
like
yeah.
The moon base is just like a concrete, looks like the inside of a dam.
Yeah.
But they're on the moon, and everyone's dressed in
bland.
X-Men suits.
That's true, yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. I mean, it's got the teleporting dog, which I kind of like.
That was the highlight.
It kind of paints in and out of the scene.
Yeah,
I
see,
like that.
that's my favourite part of it, and maybe that's why I'm being forgiven of it, is they found a creative way to do the teleport.
Yeah.
Because there's only so many ways you can do one on screen.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
So
yeah. Something new.
Something new.
So this is coming to IMAX first, the first few episodes.
Okay.
And then it'll all go to ABC. It looks very ABC, doesn't it?
Doesn't it though?
Like you can't even get a sense of the tone. It's just brightly coloured and bland walls and just dry performances.
They're very heavily featured Black Bolt's brother.
Yeah, from Game... Because I guess he's the
from
most
Game of
famous.
Thrones. Yeah, because he's from the Game of Thrones guy.
Weird
right?
choice of accent.
I think so
I guess
too.
he's got a moon voice.
He's got a moon accent, yeah.
Just make him British. He's from the...
That's the accent of the moon,
That's
British.
right, yeah.
Because the British colonized the moon. I don't know if you know that.
Oh, no, I didn't know that. I just feel if you're going to the moon, you got a teleporting dog, you got a woman who...
What accent would you prefer?
No, I'm just talking... Look, accents aside, I just think it could be weirder.
You're absolutely... Look, visually, I think it could be weirder.
Yes, that's
Definitely.
what I mean, yeah.
But I do like the fact that they're like, if the humans find us on the moon, like the idea that they... In the larger Marvel universe, like the cinematic, the TV, the movie universe, there are people on the moon.
Yeah.
They've just thrown that in there and gone, yep, that's it.
Yeah, no,
People
you're
live on
right.
the
Maybe it's baby steps. You kind of build up towards it.
Yeah, right.
But I think if you want to get people in, you kind of got to go all out because it just hasn't...
What about a scene, like in the opening
I'd
episode?
take several scenes.
Great.
If you don't mind. Just trying a bit of banter, Mason.
Oh, that was good. I liked it. Very good. What about it? The opening scene of the first episode? It's like a slice of life of all the characters. Every single one of them wakes up and just freaks out because they live on the moon. I'm on the moon. And they just like try and like cover their mouths so they don't suffocate on the moon. And then they're like, oh wait, I'm fine.
Can they... So they're in a bubble, I assume. I know nothing
right.
about this particular group of Inhumans, or really any of them.
Uh-huh.
So are they in like a little dome kind of situation?
Yeah, uh-huh.
Okay, fair enough. And there's a royal family, and there's some internal conflicts. We get a glimpse of Black Bolt's power.
We do, yeah.
When I first saw it, I kind of didn't register it properly because it's so... I think it's cut in a way that it's not clear that that's what he can do.
I think if it's cut, so if people aren't aware of the Inhumans, Black Bolt's power, like he's I don't know if they're going to do this, and I guess they're not going to do it in the show, but he's like superhumanly strong. He's like not quite the Hulk, but he's super strong and dense and invulnerable and what have you. And also, he doesn't speak because if he does, he causes like a massive, shockwave energy release thing that can, and if he whispers, he can knock a building over. If he screams, he can destroy a city, kind of thing. Yeah. And so, but if you didn't know that already,
I guess they kind of preface it in the trailer by saying, his brother corners him, and he's like, if you'd kill your own brother or whatever.
That's true, I guess. Yeah.
But I just think that particular moment wasn't very well.
No,
highlighted.
because he sort of goes and then it cuts away.
Yeah.
To it sort of pulls back and then he flips a police car with it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd think there'd be...
I guess he's not that strong either if he's getting
beaten up by the police, yeah.
But I guess you can't give him everything.
Can't get him everything, yeah. That's right.
So there you go.
Because his brother would be like, well, you wouldn't dare, whatever, and then you just karate chop him in half.
What's his brother's powers?
I can't remember.
Deception.
It's probably...
It's like a Loki-style deception?
I think it might be shockwaves. Okay. There's a character who has the same powers as Quake in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., who's also an Inhuman, so...
Who's not Quake?
Yes. No, you know what? Maybe you think he's got mind control powers.
Okay, fair enough. Well, that makes sense. They kind of downplay Medusa quite a bit. We don't see any of the hair.
I mean, we see a bad hairline. Yeah, we see a real weird wig. Yeah.
Very strange.
You would think that they'd get...
It's too dense.
Yeah. You would think that they would maybe get somebody who is willing to dye their hair that colour.
Yeah.
And then put extensions on it or something so it looks like...
We've seen better wigs than that.
And also, look, we've seen better wigs than that. And also, this is a character that is predicated entirely on her hair. Yeah. You'd think they'd put all the wig technology they have into that character.
Wig
maybe skimp
on
the wig technology for all the other characters.
Yeah.
Look, all these TV shows have a massive wig budget.
They do.
What you do is you just reduce the wig budget for all the other characters, reduce the wig budget for the hot dog vendor, and reduce the wig budget for the car that they flip over, and put all the money in her wig.
That car did have a ridiculous wig.
Mm-hmm, yeah. That's right.
Indistinguishable.
But you can tell.
Yeah.
No, you can tell. You can always tell.
Yeah, I guess you can.
But I mean...
Are you looking forward to this, though?
Sort of. I'll watch the pilot, definitely.
Yeah, well, we'll hopefully get an IMAX.
And also, I get... Surely if the first couple of episodes are on IMAX, that's where all the budget's going.
Right, yeah.
I mean, first of all, not wigs.
Yeah.
But sure, all the action set pieces will be in the first episode or two.
Yeah.
And then the rest of it will just be him probably.
It'll have to play like a movie.
Yeah, I reckon in the episode 3, Black Bolt will be ousted from his royal position and he'll have to take up a job. Just in a barbershop in New York City or
In a
something
deli.
like that. In a deli, exactly. Yeah, and then that's where there's no more money in the budget for the rest of the show.
I just, judging from this trailer alone, I can't see me getting past the first couple of episodes. I mean, I've been wrong before. And I've also
Name a time you've been wrong.
I wish I could.
Hmm.
But
again, look. Apparently now Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is really good, so all this will have to do is survive 5 seasons.
Yes, that's right.
And it'll be
Exactly,
great.
yeah.
So,
yeah. All right.
are you looking forward to Agent Coulson reappearing in one of the next couple of Avengers movies?
I don't think he will.
He should though.
Well, he's better I enjoyed him more in the movies than I have in.
But again, you haven't seen the most recent
you're
season.
right, yeah.
And I've seen some episodes recently where I'm like, oh, he's still fun and charming. And
Okay, so he's fun again.
Yeah.
Because he got very unfun.
he did, but he's more fun. He's more fun since he had his arm cut off.
Oh,
So,
really?
yeah.
You'd think it would. Okay.
Put a dampener on him,
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
all right, good on
But
him.
Wouldn't that be a great moment, I feel?
A reveal.
A reveal in there. Because, again, the premise being that Agent Coulson in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., he's still alive in that segment of the universe, but in the movies, everybody still considers him dead. But wouldn't it be great for people who follow the movies and follow all the TV shows, and there's a moment where there's some action set piece and they can't get out of it, and Agent Coulson shows up with the rest of the team? You'd be like, that's amazing.
But there's enough.
And he'd be like, surprise, I'm not dead.
But there's enough to balance, like, without him.
I guess that's true.
And also, there's that big kind of rift between Marvel TV and Marvel movies at the moment.
Yeah, right, okay.
Which is a big part of why the Inhumans has now gone to TV, because there was talk of Vin Diesel. And,
That's right,
I
yeah.
think this guy I think it's really well cast. I can't remember his name. He looks great as Black Bolt.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't love the kind of the get up, but
Yeah.
yeah. All right. That'll do it, Mason. We've
Black
had
Agar
enough.
Boltagon.
Yes.
Are they
Real
going
name.
to? Are they going to say? What are
They'll
they going
have
do?
to, right?
Well, I have to say black. But that's the thing. Like, it seems like a show that is thus far entirely without irony.
Yeah.
So is there going to be a scene where they're like Black Agar Boltagon? Then maybe I reckon you know what there's going to be. They're going to call him Black Agar Boltagon. Then he's going to get arrested, and then he's going to say they're going to. I don't know. They're going to be like, his name's Black Agar Boltagon. Oh, it's too long. We're just going to put Black Bolt.
Right,
I reckon
gotcha.
that's going to be the joke.
Very good.
And if not, you know what? There's no way out though.
No.
Because they can't, it doesn't
You
matter.
only have to do it once and then just
Yeah,
call
right.
him Black Bolt.
Well, that's true, yeah. BB.
BB.
Hey, BB.
Hey. I also didn't get a sense from him that he could do anything other than scowl.
Yeah, right.
Because he
that's
has
true.
to. Like, he has to
Yeah.
be able to communicate.
That's true, yeah.
Anyway, we'll talk about
He
it.
needs to act with he needs to be able to smize.
Correct.
Smile with his eyes.
Oh, is that what that is?
That's what
I thought you meant
surmise is.
surmise. Like
I mean, he probably needs to surmise because
Yeah.
he's being...
It's not an emotion,
He's being
though, is it?
betrayed on all sides.
Yeah,
so
he
he's going to
is,
have to
yeah.
surmise a few things, but he also needs to smile with his eyes.
Absolutely. 20th Century Fox, Mason, we've got some new movies coming out. We know that.
Okay, good.
Because there's 6 additional dates for future films. And the speculation is... So this is in addition to New Mutants, Deadpool 2, and X-Men Dark Phoenix, which all come out next year. But the following years after that, 6 titles, and it's thought that probably a Deadpool 3,
Yep,
probably an X-Force,
Okay.
and like a New Mutants or probably another Dark Phoenix sequel or whatever.
I
So-
like to think you're reading directly from a press release there. You're like, oh, probably
I guess a
another one.
Fantastic
Yeah,
Four.
I
Do we
guess,
do that?
probably.
Yeah, absolutely. So that sound all right to you? 6 titles. Was there any that you'd want to see? I mean, first we got to get these initial ones, don't we?
Yeah,
I want
right.
to see New Mutants.
Uh-huh.
Oh, Deadpool 3, I think is probably a lock. Even if 2 isn't super well received, they'll definitely
Yeah,
do
right.
another one. Yeah. Anything that you?
I don't know, maybe X-Force,
Oh yeah.
but I don't know. My question would be how different would X-Force be in the movies as opposed to just regular X-Men? Like, what are
Right.
they doing that the regular X-Men are not doing?
Yeah. Someone tweeted this at me, and I'm sorry I don't have your name in front of me. They can't really do the X-Force black costumes.
Yeah.
Because we've only exclusively had
Exactly,
nearly
that's what I'm
black
talking. I mean, I
costumes,
guess the point of difference is that currently in the regular X-Men movies, we're getting sort of X-Men in high school.
Yeah.
And so X-Force would be the grown-up X-Men doing the
Right.
Black Ops kind of stuff. But that's just X-Men 1 through 3. Again.
Yeah, well, that's
So,
true. Maybe a more violent kind of spin on it.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe Deadpool without the jokes,
Yeah.
I guess.
Or with more jokes.
More jokes.
But I guess Deadpool in a black suit, you'd be like, oh yeah, we haven't really seen that. So.
Oh, is
that's one thing.
Deadpool confirmed to be an X-Force?
No, actually, no.
Right, okay.
And they haven't really. They keep kind of being like, yeah, it's coming along and whatever. And the dude who did Kick-Ass 2 was going to do it. I don't know if he still is.
Okay.
I don't know where they're at with it. I think they're just going to see what happens next year and then be like, oh yeah, people like New Mutants. We'll do another one of them or whatever.
I'm looking forward to pouches. Pouches and ammo belts.
Oh, so
X-Men
excited.
with guns.
Yes.
2 big guns that don't even look like real guns.
No.
As was common in the 90s.
Yes, it
Just a big... It always looked like they were holding like a VCR on its side. It was just a big rectangle that's too high and too
Got
tall.
Too many buttons.
Yeah, that's right. With a handle on it.
4 clips. Yeah. More Fox News though. Julie Dennison.
Oh, Fox News.
That's right.
We report you decide, listeners.
Julian
Newmar.
Dennison is joining Deadpool 2.
Who's that?
Ricky Baker from Hunt for the Wilder People.
Oh.
I love it. I know
Yeah,
you
right.
didn't love that movie. You're the only person on earth who thought it was okay.
Thought it was fine.
You're wrong.
All
But
right.
I think he was great, and
Yeah.
and I think he'd be a good kind of Deadpool kind of team up. I think that'd be cool.
Stuck's life, isn't that what they say?
Yeah, something
it?
like that.
Yeah, okay,
Some
good.
New Zealand shit.
Yeah.
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 And the other thing is Evan Peters will return as Quicksilver for Dark Phoenix.
I don't care.
Yep.
Look, I'll be honest, I don't care. The first one was great.
And then we
First
saw the
action
same
set piece,
thing
Then it was
again.
the same thing, but
Yeah.
worse music. And then...
Who cares?
Yeah.
And then he got his knee kicked out by
That's right,
Apocalypse.
yeah. And again, unless they're going to be like, look... or also what they're going to have to do is go, guys, we kind of let you down with the last one, but this action set piece is going to be
If he hadn't have been in the last one, I'd be
Yeah.
excited for him to come back.
same, yeah.
But hey,
Yeah.
life is...
Look, I've said this
Wonderful.
before, but in the movie, in the last one, he's wearing a Rush t-shirt, which is very funny because Rush and he's rushing about. That's the joke. But also Rush,
Oh, that's very good.
isn't it though? But Rush has a song with Amy Mann called "Time Stands Still," which is about like freezing time in a moment and etc. And they should have put that in. The fact that they didn't go
But
one level further.
was that out before?
I think the movie is set before
doesn't-
that song came
it
out, but it
doesn't
doesn't matter
matter.
because potentially that
I think
Quicksilver-
the song in the previous movie came out after that.
Yeah, and
Which
I,
implies he can time travel.
That's
I
what I'm
guess.
thinking.
Yeah.
It's implied that he is somehow unstuck in time as well.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
as well.
Very
Anyway.
good. Well, I'm glad you're happy to see him back.
I'm not though.
Are you happy for the Death Note trailer?
Sort of.
I've never seen or read any of it.
Uh-huh.
But I am excited for this. I should actually go back and
Uh-huh.
I probably won't read it. But there's a series, isn't there?
Yes, and there's various animes and there's a light novel. And
light
I'm
novel?
not sure what light novels are, but I think they're sort of like
They're
graphic novels.
projected into your eyeballs.
Oh, directly into my brain as
Yeah.
I sleep. That'd be
Light.
excellent. Edge of Tomorrow was based on a light novel.
Ah.
So, and I've seen that, which I think it was sort of graphic novelly.
Like
Anyway, there's that.
like light, like a vinaigrette.
Yeah, like a vinaigrette. Yeah,
Okay,
just
good.
a little something.
Gotcha.
You know?
Okay.
Death, murders.
Have you read and seen or
I've seen some of the anime.
and?
Uh,
I've heard nothing but good things.
it's pretty good.
I wonder whether I should do that.
It's not really my
first.
thing, but there you go.
Is that because you're not really a big anime guy, or it's just it didn't grab you?
I'm not really a big anime guy.
Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
Fair enough. Everybody tweet at Mason why
Oh no!
why he isn't a big anime guy.
You gotta watch all 50 episodes or whatever it is.
Can you turn your mic a little bit this way?
Yes.
There's a little bit of pop happening.
What about now?
There we go. I think
Yeah,
that's a
nice.
little bit better. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Well, I'd like to talk more about it, but Willem Dafoe is the death.
He's the
man.
death man.
I
Yes.
like that.
Uh huh.
And it's coming to Netflix, which is great because I already have that and I can just watch it at home.
Pretty good.
That's what-
Why do they advertise anything? Why do they sometimes call us and be like, "Hey, can you advertise this thing that we're going to release on Netflix?" And if you've got Netflix anyway, you just get it for free. And we're like, "Okay,
Yeah, sure.
we'll tell people about
Yeah,
it."
we'll do that.
Yeah.
We're more than happy to take money for that.
Hey, can you provide us with some preview episodes of Iron Fist? No? Oh, it's probably not a bad sign.
You never finished that, did you?
No, I never did.
Look, I know we did get paid for it, but I maintain it's not that bad. It's fine. It's about as good as
Alright.
Luke Cage, which was also fine.
I think it's not as good. Anyway, so Death Note. So the premise basically is that
He gets a book, a magic death
Yeah,
note.
it's a magic death note book, and if you know somebody's face and you know their name, you write their name in the book and they die. And so
Right.
this guy's decided to.
Do you have to see them in person, or can you see them on the television?
You have to. No, you
Can you get one of those pin art things where somebody presses their face into
you
it?
can look at that and contemplate it.
Good.
Yeah, you don't have to. I believe you don't have to see them in person.
Okay.
You just have to be aware of them and know their name.
And they die in whatever manner you choose. Is that the
No,
idea?
I think they just die randomly.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, in a gruesome manner.
Oh.
And so this guy decides he's just gonna like wipe the world clean of criminals and villains and
But then it's like, what's the consequences?
exactly
Of that?
what's the consequences and why you're taking the
And
world.
there's none.
No, there's not. It's fine. It's great.
Oh, so he's doing a good service.
I think so too.
Okay, great. All right, I'm well into that. That sounds really cool.
Yeah.
Are you,
Weird that it's a Japanese property and there's not a single Japanese person in the
oh,
trailer.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it's a US adaptation. I guess.
Yeah.
It's just I'm sick of fighting that battle.
Same.
I'm sick of talking about it.
Yeah.
Rick and Morty is back.
Yeah, it is.
Sunday, July 30.
Yeah.
Did you watch the trailer?
Yes.
Cool.
Real cool.
That's all I have
Looks-
to
looks
say.
real good.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. It's been 2 years.
Yeah.
So, 10 episodes.
And we got that.
Seen one of them
we
already.
We got episode 1 on April 1st, which was real good. So we're
Yeah.
gonna have to. I was gonna say we're gonna have to watch that again. We will enjoy watching that again.
Absolutely, we'll watch that
but
again,
yeah, looks
fun.
Looks real fun. It's always fun, isn't it?
Fun jokes and
Yeah.
darkness.
Does it give you any indication of where the plot's gonna go? Like, is there gonna be an overarching plot?
It'd have to be.
Hmm.
Well, Bird Person is alive.
Oh, he's back. Yeah.
Remember, then you watched the first one?
Yes,
I guess
that's
that's
right.
sort of a spoiler.
Uh-huh.
I think everybody's seen it at this point. And if you haven't seen it, that's going to make no sense anyway.
Well, that's true.
But yeah, I don't know. I guess the government's still out there. I guess that's part of
Government
it.
is still out there.
Yeah,
and well, the Council of Ricks is still around there. They're still out there.
Just checking outside for the government.
Good.
That's a bit of banter, Mason.
I loved it. You're getting into it, and I love it.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
Remember not last week we had that hot scoop? Hot scoop or lie?
Oh, yes.
Remember that?
Oh, do we have another hot scoop or lie?
No, we've just got, this is a confirmation of the hot scoop we put in.
Oh, so
So
we've
we-
had 2 hot scoops confirmed in a row.
No.
Oh.
Well, so we got an anonymous email saying that the Howard the Duck movie is in development and they're
That's
close
right.
to finding a director.
That's right.
Some people asked James Gunn on Twitter and he said a movie isn't into the works at this present time.
But he would say that, wouldn't he?
He would say that.
Yes.
So I'm not willing to throw it all aside as of yet.
Yep.
But I feel like it's worth bringing up that we now have a 50% strike rate.
Do we ever?
For now.
Yeah, but
Until our
that
next
could go
hot
up or
scoop.
down.
Yeah.
Yeah, did we get any hot scoops this week? I don't think we did.
I don't know. Did you check the Gmail?
I checked, but I think there were some that were definitely lies.
Ah.
Yep.
Okay. So they have to be convincing enough. Like maybe a doctored photo.
Doctored photo would be good at this point.
Yep. You sitting with Kevin Feige. But it's
That would
just
be
like
good,
a
yeah.
superimposed mouth of him
Yeah,
going,
right.
"We're breaking-"
Like that old Conan O'Brien skit.
Yeah, exactly.
Where
yeah.
you're sitting next to a television and it's talking. Yeah, that'd be good.
Anything as convincing as that.
Maybe some sort of note written in like newspaper or magazine clippings that says Howard the Duck movie A-OK. That'd be nice.
The good thing about this is nobody has attacked us for it. People have pointed it out because we said clearly, hey, we don't know.
Sure, right.
This is how we got to do things. Never commit to anything. And
That's
then we'll
right.
never be responsible for anything.
As we say, under promise, never deliver.
That's why I've got this little bindle that I'm going to walk out on my family.
He's miming the bindle, folks. He's actually miming the bindle.
All right. What else we got here? Matt Reeves has talked about The Batman.
Oh, and it's going to be a detective Batman.
That's right. A noir.
Finally.
Yeah. He said, I think there's a chance to do an almost noir-driven detective version of Batman that's it is point of view driven in a very powerful way that hopefully is going to connect you to what's going on inside of the head and inside of the heart.
Oh,
So that sounds great.
does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Unless what's inside his head and his heart is, I should really use this machine gun on a whole bunch of bad guys and kill them because
It
that's
could
what I
very
love
well
to do
be,
now.
Yeah. But no, that sounds awesome. Because I think not every Batman story has to be the end of the world or whatever.
That's true.
You know, or the city's going to be destroyed, that is the Dark Knight trilogy. It's all
always the
city's
city
gonna
gonna be destroyed.
Which is fine. I love that trilogy. I think it's great. But something like even like a knight in the shoes of Batman, just where he's detecting about. You know,
Yeah.
like an Arkham thing. Just do Arkham.
But do you think it's going to be a movie where he's detecting about, but also the world is at stake again?
Yeah, maybe. I
I don't think they can.
they
think,
probably have to do a Joker toxin or something.
I
or-
don't think he can. I don't think this universe is built to go backwards ever. I don't think this universe is like, here's a smaller story. I don't think they could ever do
No, I
it.
think they can. I mean,
I think they could, but I don't think.
don't think they will.
I don't think the edict of the producers is like, make a fun little one. I think it's make a bigger one and everything explodes all times.
Yeah, potentially. But I think if you just have really awesome combat scenes and have a really focused narrative, that's really all you need.
true, yeah.
And you know what? Matt Reeves is killing it, man.
Yeah.
Say what you will about him, Mason. I know you have a very, very personal gripe with him, which I won't bring up here. Mm-hmm. But
He's bad at banter.
you gave him a shot,
I
didn't you?
gave him a shot. I did, yeah.
But no, I feel
I said Batman, more like Fat Man.
What did he
and
say?
I just leaned in and he went, "Who are you?" And I'm like, oh,
You're out.
You're out, mate.
get out of my shop.
Yeah,
Get out of my fish
that's
and
right.
chip shop. Yeah. Look, even if he doesn't do this particular vision that we've kind of got in mind, I'm not really
No.
worried about it.
Is this a case of maybe this is the only way left for Batman to go? Like they've got the magical producers whiteboard that I imagine in Hollywood.
Yes.
They've just gone
I bet it's real though.
they've gone Batmobile, they've gone exploding Gotham City, they've gone whatever, and right at the bottom there's Detective, and they haven't struck through it yet.
Yeah,
so
they've
they're
gone,
like,
did we do Bane?
Yeah,
No,
we did
him
Bane.
twice, didn't we?
Just several times.
Yeah.
Have we done ice-based puns? We've done that.
We've
okay.
done that, yeah.
All right, Detective is the only one that's left, so we
Yeah.
gotta...
Which
I'm happy for, but...
Absolutely. Well, we haven't got a lot of detective stuff. We've got the bullet in the brick scenario, which I
Yeah,
know
that's right.
you're not a fan of.
Yeah.
But like an actual proper crime noir story.
You know what, now that I think about it, I bet Detective is... In this hypothetical scenario that I've made up and isn't real, they've written Batman, and I reckon Detective is the first thing.
Right.
And they've just gone too hard. Can't do it. Let's go to the next one. What's the next one? All right.
Sounds
It's
complicated.
car chases. All right, we'll do a car chase.
Yeah, we can
It's fine.
definitely do a car chase. Guns? Trust us.
We got some. We got an armorer back there. He is mad for it.
Yeah.
He'll put a gun on anything.
I am kind of worried that's how Justice League is going to end. It's just guns and parademons.
Oh, yeah.
It's just going to be the Avengers and also Age of Ultron, except with parademons instead of robots or
It would be
aliens.
weird if some of the stuff in the Justice League trailer is anywhere else but right at the end.
Yeah.
Like the bit
you're
where
right, yeah.
the Batmobile screaming around a corner firing machine guns and Aquaman leaps off the top. Like if that's not, or the bit where Batman's throwing a grenade at a parademon and then he's zipping away. Like if that's somewhere in the middle, that would be weird, right?
I think that would be kind of cool though.
Yeah.
If they did it early on. Well, that's what I thought of Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
Like leading up to that, I'm like, oh no, the big battle with all the robots, that won't be the end because we saw that. But, you know, who knows? Same director as well now, so
Yeah.
who knows?
Who knows?
Life is just, it is, isn't
Life's
it?
a hurricane, you know.
Boy,
Yeah.
is it.
Race past lasers, airplanes.
That's right. This is interesting. Mark Millar,
Yes.
who's written a number of...
Your
comic
best
book-
mate.
We're best mates, Mason. We talked on Twitter 2 years ago. It was around the time of Batman Superman, actually. It's sad that I remember that. I'm like, I could die. Remember that date. remember
You
that
remember it
exact
because it's
date.
written. It's you've made a little shrine to
I
it.
have, yeah. He says that DC are considering a Superman Red Sun movie,
Oh yeah.
which I am all about.
Uh-huh.
But the argument has been made that can we get an actual Superman movie before we get dictator, maniac,
Yeah, right,
communist
exactly.
Superman, yeah.
Has it also been suggested that that's the Superman we saw in the flash forward sequence in the Nightmare? Is that?
Well, he
It's a
possible,
variant of that,
yeah.
or it's more the Injustice.
More
Superman.
Injustice, yeah. Also,
Yeah.
he wears a different suit.
That's true.
That version
got
of
the
Superman.
Soviet.
It's got the Soviet logo.
Yeah.
It's got his own Batman and everything. But it's not Bruce Wayne. It's
Yeah.
very clearly
It's
not.
got I was going to say the Soviet logo.
Yeah, the logo.
It's got that Soviet emoji on his
Yeah.
chest. You know that little
yeah,
sickle, hammer and sickle emoji.
and a wink.
Yeah.
But no, I understand. You know, the same as everybody else, that I'd like to get a perfect Superman movie or as close to perfect
Yeah,
one as
right.
possible before you do this. But I also love the idea, because Marvel aren't doing this either, of doing Elseworld
Yeah, absolutely.
alternate stories. All you gotta do is one line at the start is just like, there are multiple dimensions. This is one variation.
Or I mean,
We can get so much cool stuff.
I feel that maybe is the beauty of it. The fact that so many people are aware of the origin of Superman.
Yeah.
you wouldn't even have to do that. You just have to have the iconic spaceship coming out of the sky, like maybe over Kansas. And then
you're like,
it just
"Oh."
scrolled. We go around the world and it goes past Kansas and it lands in Soviet Russia.
Yeah.
And you go, oh, I get it now.
Yeah,
This
exactly.
and you show that it's the past, and then you just immediately go into it, and you're like, oh, we get it. It's an alternate
That's
universe.
it.
Yeah.
I mean, you could do...
And everybody who doesn't get it is killed in the cinema.
That's right. On your way out, the people are asked.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you get it?
Did you get it? I like the idea of like,
A 16-year-old ticket.
Yeah, he's got a
tearing
gun.
boy has
yeah,
to kill people.
this is his favorite part. Like he's like, and would it be good? Because he'd be like, did you get it? And somebody's like, no, and he gets shot. And then the next like 100 people are just prompted with, did you get it? And they're like, yes,
Yeah.
I
And he's
guess.
just waving him through with a gun.
But also that's that kid's moment to shine, because also he's seen all the people who've been throwing popcorn around and
Yeah,
have just
absolutely.
left all their rubbish, and he's like, did you get it? And they're like, yes, and he's like, I heard no.
And it would be like that Monty Python, if you don't answer the question, you get thrown into the ravine situation.
Yeah,
where
right.
You could throw him a trick question.
That's true, yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I love that. But no, look, because imagine if we could get like a Gotham by Gaslight, we could get an Injustice.
Yeah, we could get
Because
Injustice.
DC have a whole lot of really, all comic books generally do. They've got a whole lot of variations on their traditional characters.
Yeah.
Man, I'm well into that. So I just think it's an untapped kind of
We could get the
area.
Batman Elmer Fudd crossover that's happening.
Did you watch that?
Did
you read it?
I haven't read it. No,
I've been
but
recommended it,
Apparently,
but-
it's a very good. It's the good one.
Oh, it's
'Cause
good.
There's a whole bunch of. There's a Martian Manhunter Marvin the Martian crossover.
Oh, yeah.
There's a Roadrunner Lobo. Which kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I get that makes sense. Yeah.
But apparently, Elmer Fudd Batman, because the idea being is that this is a comic series released by, for anybody who doesn't know, DC this last couple of months, where they're crossing over Warner Brothers cartoon characters, Looney Tunes, with their DC heroes. And there's apparently how it works is there's 2 stories in each issue, and it's the same story but told in different ways.
Right.
So the first story is told from the DC perspective, and the other story is told from the Looney Tunes perspective.
Okay, right.
But
gotcha.
apparently the Elmer Fudd one is actually good. Like, both of the stories are great.
Very
so I'm
good.
gonna check that out.
I will also check it out.
Yes.
We should have saved that for what we
I'm
read.
gonna bloody get it on Comixology right now.
I don't mind if you do.
Okay.
While you're doing that,
Yes.
let's talk Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle.
Okay.
Was the Welcome to the Jungle song in the trailer? It must be, right?
I don't think it was, but I'm prepared to be proven wrong, and by that I mean don't at me. Nobody tell me if it was.
I think one person should at you,
Okay.
but if you've seen...
If you're the lucky winner.
Yeah, you're right.
You're right.
Or
You're very
wrong,
correct. I
depending
don't-
on what the answer is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, look, I don't have any affinity for Jumanji. I saw it in the drive-in when I was a kid, but
Yeah, right.
I don't really care about
But
it.
I think if you have an affinity for Jumanji, this isn't going to scratch that itch for
No.
you. Because it doesn't seem anything like the original.
But also, I think that's good.
I
Yeah,
guess
like
so.
because Jumanji also has a sequel. Zathura is a sequel to Jumanji. They're set in the same.
Oh, really?
Yeah. John Favreau did it. It's actually not bad. I actually prefer
Yeah.
it to Jumanji.
But it's set in the same universe.
Probably, I don't know. It's both Magic board
They're
games.
both. That doesn't mean they're set in
No,
the same
they,
universe.
look, okay. I know the author. They're linked.
Oh, okay,
all
right,
I don't
okay.
know whether for whatever reason, but this is set in the same universe as the original Jumanji because I've heard,
Yes.
and this is a smart move because it's doing what Ghostbusters didn't do. It's linking the universes because
Yes.
they come across Robin Williams' treehouse when he was sucked in and lived in the jungle for 20 years.
Right.
So the idea is that his presence is felt because you can't obviously bring him back because he's dead.
Mm-hmm.
But you can kind of say, oh no, this isn't a reboot, this is a sequel.
Yeah,
So you're
right.
kind of getting people on board for that way.
Yeah.
I also like the idea that the board game is now a video game.
Yeah.
I think people are like, that's stupid. It's all stupid.
Yeah, right?
I'm not saying this is going to be good.
Yeah.
I don't even think it looks particularly funny, but
Yeah.
at least it's different.
Yeah, but like going back to the Ghostbusters thing, like again, they should be able to make whatever, like all the abuse that people copped during the production and release of Ghostbusters was unwarranted. But I think one of the things that would have blunted their hate a little bit was to say that it was like an actual sequel. And I understand why you wouldn't, because you don't want the idea to be that these 4 random people find the Ghostbusters equipment and are like, oh, we'll just use it kind of thing. Because then they don't have their own skills.
Right, yeah.
But I think what upsets some small subset of nerds is that they went, the original universe has been erased.
Yes.
Obviously it hasn't. You can still watch that movie.
Yeah.
But to be like, oh, what you loved didn't happen anymore. We're just saying this is a completely new thing. You have to cut off all avenues for nerds to be mad. That's why the Star Trek reboot worked.
Yeah.
You should cut off the avenue. If nerds couldn't be like, we're bloody nerds. But
No, Mason, it's derogatory.
Thank you. But people couldn't be mad by going like, oh, that's not how it happened in the original Star Trek. That character wouldn't act like that. That character wouldn't say that. Well, it's a rebooted universe.
Exactly,
So,
yeah.
like it's rebooted in story.
Smart, man.
They are smart.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Jumanji. This doesn't like. I don't know who the target audience is for this. I guess
it's Christmas, so I would say kids.
yeah, but it feels like, but that's the thing. Like it could be. It feels it feels very cynical to me in the sense that sure it'd be for kids, but kids who haven't seen Jumanji, so they're just tacking the Jumanji name on for people who remember the original.
Right.
Like, oh, okay.
Parents take their
Because
kids.
realistically, the people who got trapped in Jumanji in the original didn't turn into different avatars. They were just themselves.
Hang on, I'm just going to move your microphone back a little
cool.
bit. But keep talking.
How about I do it?
No, because I got to pull off.
Oh, that's fun.
I can still hear you.
Oh, this is good. This is probably how Marin feels. You know, he's got his intern to move his microphone.
Is an intern?
He's got an assistant, I think.
You should get an intern.
I know. So, like, the idea, they didn't become different avatars. They were just themselves when you went into.
But they also didn't get sucked into the world. through a video game,
That's true.
and they didn't
Yes.
choose their.
See, that's the
whatever.
part that I didn't buy in that. Like, there's one of the people goes, "Oh, so it's and you choose the character you want to play,
Like any video
like every
game.
video game that's ever been created." Yeah,
Yeah,
we
that's
get
not
it.
that's not a retro thing, is it?
know, right.
I mean, look, and it's clearly like, look, we've got The Rock, we've got Kevin Hart. You guys love these guys.
Yeah, we've got Jack Black.
Yeah,
we've
we've got Amy Pond.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Who everybody loves. Mm-hmm. Like it's
Yeah, it was also kind of like, well, we've got. It kind of felt for me. It kind of, like, and it could. I'm sure it's probably good. I don't know. I'll probably watch it just as an action, like a fun.
See, I don't know whether I will because it's around Christmas and I'm like, I'm done.
Right.
I saw Star Wars. That's my year.
Yeah, I guess that's true. But it feels like they just went, okay, Jack Black, you can be the guy you were in King Kong. Let's
Yep.
throw you in.
Or the war movie with Ben Stiller. Is it
Tropic Thunder.
Tropic Thunder?
Yeah. And The Rock, you can be a character from Journey of the Center of the Earth 2 or whatever it was.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm indifferent.
Kevin Hart about.
Just please do.
Here's
Yeah.
more millions of dollars.
Yeah, exactly. So look, I'm indifferent, but I just don't think it's that bad.
Yeah. Also, I think it would be more fun if kids went into the game and they themselves were characters who developed special powers and had skills.
But
The idea that The Rock comes into this game and he can, fight monsters and leap huge distances, that's not surprising because he's The Rock.
no, but I don't want to watch a movie with 4 teenagers I don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
In the jungle
You're
screaming
right.
at each other.
God, you're right.
Yeah. When we saw that, it was Power Rangers, but it was in a quarry,
Yes.
and it was really good, wasn't it?
No, it was bad.
Okay.
Yeah. You're right. Well, see, the Zathura is based on the best-selling book by the acclaimed children's writer Chris Van Allsburg, The Polar Express Jumanji.
Polar
So the
Express
Polar Express
is no good.
Same universe, though. I don't know. It doesn't say that, but
You seen Polar Express?
no.
For years, like I felt like people were like, this is a classic, because me being used to be a teacher,
Uh-huh.
it'd always be the one that would go on, but it's just not
Right,
good.
uh-huh.
We're dead-eyed monsters in that movie.
But that doesn't really say that it's set in the same universe.
Board Gamer-verse.
All right, fine. But I'm just saying, like, it's like when they go, Conan and Carl, created by the barbarians, are created by the same guy.
Aren't
It's
they
just
the
you-
same universe? Like
I
hundreds
mean,
of years
potentially.
apart?
Yeah, I think so. But I mean, it's sort of like you only
look-
you only had the one idea. That's what happened there. You had one idea for a guy with no shirt on.
That guy had 2 ideas, though. He had a train that has a Santa in it,
All right,
and everybody's Tom Hanks and board games.
Good point.
That's 2 ideas.
fine.
There's been some clarification on the Marvel Sony deal as well. You ready for this?
I'm ready for this.
what Amy
No.
That's what Amy Pascal says. The other movies that Sony's going to make in their relationship to the MCU, Spider-Man, take place in a separate world.
Wait, so this is after her gaffe of
Yes.
last week, where not a gaffe. but
Although
where-
we're not going to see them in the Marvel universe, it's the same reality. It's
Okay.
it's the Zathura effect.
I understand,
You've got 2
sure.
ideas that are essentially the same
Same,
ideas, and they're linked.
because last week she was on a panel, some sort
Yeah.
of press conference panel with Kevin Feige.
Yep.
And she said, yeah, all our movies are going to be set in the Marvel universe, and Kevin Feige was not ready for that. No.
He wasn't.
No, but now he is.
Yeah, absolutely.
So they've clearly had some
a powwow.
they've had a powwow.
Yeah.
Okay, so right, they're all going to be set in the same reality, but we're not going to see them in any of the Marvel movies.
No.
Okay, right.
Yeah, which is, I think, is what we said last week.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to say it, but it's just kind of implied.
It's implied, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And Kevin Feige was there, and he was like,
Yeah.
that's the perfect answer.
Like, unless there's a amount of hand waving and suspension of disbelief, you should just take on board.
Yeah.
Like, unless there's a situation where somebody in an Avengers movie goes, man, we could really do with an alien symbiote right about now. I wish we had somebody here who could do that to get through this grate or whatever.
Yeah. Because Ant-Man's been killed.
Because Ant-Man's been killed. So, unless that happens, then it's fine. Just be like, they're somewhere else. It's
Yeah,
fine. Don't
exactly.
worry about it.
Exactly.
Be like Coulson.
I've got some more Marvel.
Valet that guy.
That's right. I've got some more Marvel news, Mason. Though.
I'm ready.
This is interesting. Some people hate it. Some people love it. I tend to love it. Let's see what you think.
Okay.
Spider-Man.
say hate it.
Peter Parker is in Spider-Man. Is in Iron Man 2. He's the kid
Oh, that's right.
with the Iron Man mask who Tony
Yeah.
Stark saves from the War Machines. That's not what they are.
Yeah, that's right.
The Justin
so,
Hammer.
So there's the Hammer bots, the Hammer drones, I guess. They all get activated and they run rampant through the Stark Expo, which is in Queens.
Yes.
It's taking place in Queens. And Peter Parker, who is from Queens originally, they're saying is the little boy who stands up to the hammer drones, and then Iron Man flies in and blasts him, and then he takes off again.
Yeah, and that's why it's his hero.
Yeah, and then the reveal was because apparently didn't Tom Holland went to Kevin Feige and he was like, hello,
it's me.
Hey,
I've got one wish.
Begging your pardon, Mr. Feige. But he read on the internet that this theory was a thing, and he went, Mr. Feige, Master Feige.
Oh, bless your cotton socks.
And Feige was like, yeah, it's true, why not?
Fine, whatever.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't change anything really, does
exactly.
it? I think it adds a little bit. I don't mind, this kind of stuff.
Sure.
It makes sense in the universe.
Look, we all love this kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's it. I actually managed to see Spider-Man Homecoming earlier in the week.
Yes, you did.
I put up a review if anyone wants to check it out.
Did you break an embargo?
I broke nothing, Mason, but it's good.
Yeah.
It's really good. I mean, we'll
Okay.
talk about it more next week, but if you're kind of worried that we're going to get more of the same or even just... No, it's. I really enjoyed it.
Okay, without giving too much away, what's it on par with? Name another Marvel movie that's on par with.
Well, I would say I have to give it more time, but I would say it's probably on par for me for Spider-Man 2, which I really like.
Okay.
It may even be better. I think if I had have seen them at the same time,
Yep.
or because the thing is, and I mentioned this in my review, I've seen 6 of these now.
Yeah, right.
And this is easily one
Right.
of, if
okay,
not
but what
the
about
best.
what about an MCU movie?
I think it's better than Ant-Man. I think it's better than Doctor Strange. I think it's closer to like Winter Soldier than
Oh, cool. Okay.
Thor: The Dark
Right.
World. Yeah.
Is it sad and dreary like a
No.
Spider-Man movie?
I mean,
Okay,
there's
good.
there's moments of levity and there's moments of sadness, but it's
just
definitely
like
worth
life.
checking out. That's right. There's that fan screening that Village and Sony are putting on this Wednesday, which we'll be at.
That's
Which
right.
hopefully some listeners will also be at in Melbourne. I think that competition is closed. Yeah, but I'll link it below if not, if you're in the area. But Michael from Village has been sorting that out, who I saw at the screening actually, which
yeah.
you weren't allowed to go to. I asked for a second ticket and they were like, no!
Who's this guy?
One ticket only! And
That's
then there
right.
was 200 spare seats.
He's constantly bantering in the cinema. We're sick to death of it.
I mean, he's good at it, sure.
That's right. If anything, we're just jealous of him. How good he is at bantering.
That's it. But no, look, it's well worth checking out. Yeah.
Okay.
I think, you'd be hard pressed to be like, I hate this. I think at the very least you'd be like, it's fun.
Great, okay.
That being said, whenever I say that, somebody always tweets at me, is like, well, I hated it. I don't
Great,
care.
good.
Shut
That's
up.
fine.
You're allowed to hate it.
That's true, you're allowed to hate it.
Yeah. Also, I saw Baby Driver this week,
Yeah, right.
which you haven't seen.
I haven't seen it yet.
But I thought maybe we could
Sometimes
lead...
life gets in the way.
That's right.
By life, I mean work.
Yes.
I go to work.
That's right. That we could lead that into
Do you want to talk about it next week?
Baby Driver.
Or we can talk about it this week.
I don't think... No, because it's out here in 2 weeks. So
But I
don't
can
know-
see it potentially.
Oh, right,
I can see
yeah.
it potentially on Wednesday or Friday.
Okay, well maybe we could talk about Spider-Man and Baby Driver
Nice,
next week. Yeah,
nice.
awesome. No, I'm absolutely up for that. I should mention also, after I saw it, I ran into a
He's
list.
pointing at me with his pinky.
This is
to
how I do
illustrate
it,
a point.
because it's threatening if you do it like that. Look at
Oh,
that.
but your crooked little finger's fine, is it?
It's regular.
Your weird little pincers.
It's not crooked.
Nah, it's gross. I don't like it.
What about this?
Oh yeah, okay.
It's the two hands, like praying.
The
but
two-hand
pointing.
pray pointing. Yeah, that's good. That's
You like that?
I feel that's a Hollywood PowerPoint.
Oh, okay,
Like I
right.
reckon Tom Cruise would point like that if he's trying to make a point.
Yeah,
he'd be like,
absolutely
I'm
would.
just excited
Yeah.
about the time we get to go on the zero gravity plane.
You have to marry me. That's what Tom Cruise
Oh,
would
that's
do.
very good. Yeah, try it at home.
Yeah. But actually, a listener came up from Melbourne called Alice, who's studying film at Swinburne, and she's introduced herself, and that was super cool.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah. That was, I mean, I very rarely get, because my face isn't really out there that much. Also, we're not that famous. So it was,
Yeah.
it was
And
really
also,
nice.
you leave straight away, like
Yeah.
after a movie, especially if it's bad.
That's it. Well, I was having a drink with my friend Joe, who you know.
I know Joe.
He's a big fan of the show. And by that, I mean he's never listened to it, and he's always baffled by everything that I do.
Yeah, nice.
Bless him. But we can talk Edgar Wright, though. A few
Yeah.
people have requested this. Well, a lot of people have requested this. The Cornetto Trilogy.
Yeah, right.
Which is kind of the thing that got his name renowned worldwide, would you say?
Yeah.
A pretty solid trilogy all around, would you agree?
And look, and what people have been demanding more than that, and more than an episode about the Cornetto Trilogy, is a very sketchy episode of the Cornetto Trilogy. Yeah. Because we said we were going to rewatch a whole bunch of Edgar Wright stuff before this episode, and then we forgot.
I watched the first two and then
Yeah.
some clips of The World's End.
Nice, good.
What did you do?
I just went to work mostly.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
We're bang up for this then, aren't we?
Yeah, we're so good at it.
But yeah, would you say this is one of the best movie trilogies?
Yes.
Yeah?
And you know what? It's a third one. It's a trilogy, and the third one's very good. Like
Yeah.
the third one is absolutely on par with the first two.
Yeah, I would say. I mean, I have favorites, but I would agree with that. Yeah.
Uh-huh. I mean, it's a spiritual trilogy.
Yes, it is.
Where
like
we've
a
got-
Zathura and a Jumanji and a Polar Express.
Yeah, just like those two, I guess.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Are you turning on my PlayStation?
Yes, I think I am.
That's fine. It can be on. I
Okay,
don't like
good.
that weird blue light on the end of the controller. It's weird. Get it out of here, Mason. Throw
Anyway,
it.
okay.
No, it's fine.
Okay.
But yeah, so Shaun of the Dead came out in 2004 off the back of Edgar Wright working on Spaced.
Ah,
He actually,
so good.
I heard an interview with him recently where he gave up video games he gave away his PlayStation
Yes.
to write this because he's like, I'm never going to make this.
Oh, to write Spaced.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
No,
there you
sorry,
go.
not to write Spaced, to write
Shaun of the Dead. Okay, right. Uh-huh.
Yeah, so, and it was a whole, it was
Put
a sit-
aside that bong too, probably. Bunny's
Is he that kind of guy?
Doritos? No, I don't think he
I
is.
think he is.
Yeah, uh-huh.
But,
Seems
so
like a clean living young man.
he does. Well, he's 43, I want to say.
Clean living, early middle-aged man.
Absolutely. He looks very youthful, doesn't he?
I was going to say, I didn't know. I assumed he was our age.
No.
Good.
Does that mean we've got time?
We've got some time to make something of
I think he was 29 when he did this.
Oh,
though.
then we've got no time.
Time is up.
It's too late. He is too late.
But
I
yeah,
was just thinking about Spaced before we get into that.
yeah,
Spaced, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the British TV industry. But like that, Spaced did a lot of stuff that I feel like maybe American sitcoms have only really just caught up to.
what kind of things?
Like I'm talking, very specifically like a paintball episode.
Oh right,
Like
okay,
the idea
yeah,
that
yeah.
Sitcoms can have like weird time jumps and flashbacks and asides and
It doesn't have to be people sitting in an apartment.
yeah, and characters can go out and do weird stuff. And again, which in 10 years later in Community we have literally another paintball episode.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah,
And like the characters can be surreal and strange and very loosely connected to reality.
Right,
Or
absolutely.
like it can be a world that is very grounded in it's these people who live in a share house, but at the same time there are weird magic things happening around them
Yeah.
from time to time.
Yeah,
or like
absolutely.
they go into a young people's party and it turns it's some sort of surreal magic fairyland kind of thing. You know what I mean?
yeah, I do. I know exactly what you mean. And it's got that great Phantom Menace rant.
Sure
from
does. Yeah.
Simon Pegg, which
That's right.
you see floating around every now and then. But no, I think it's a terrific show. And actually, I've been meaning for years to go back and watch it all because I'm fairly certain there's episodes that I haven't seen.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
That's also one of those shows wherever you switch on the TV and it happens to be on, it's the same episode.
right. Yeah,
Sometimes you just your life gets stuck in a loop.
yeah.
Or like oftentimes like if you're ever in another city and you turn on the TV and it's an episode of Law and Order Special Victims Unit and it's the same one that you saw the last time you were in an unfamiliar
Right,
city
yeah,
and you turn the
absolutely.
TV on.
Well, look, I don't think I've ever seen a full episode of it.
Well, get into it. It's a really good show.
Yeah, I bet it bloody is. Which season should I start with? Doesn't really matter, does it?
No, they're all exactly the same. Every episode's literally exactly the same. Sometimes one of the cops gets a little personal.
No.
Yeah, that's right. They take it personal.
I might start with that one. Yeah.
yeah.
I think it's one of the best zombie movies, right?
We're back on Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Okay, good,
I guess so.
Yeah.
I was trying to do a segue, Mason.
No, it was really
I should have
good.
bantered up to it.
Should have been enough to... That's the rule. That's part of my guidelines for bantering. But just rules for life. Banter your way up to a segue.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bring banter into your everyday life and then banter your way to the segue.
Watching this as well the other
Don't
night.
banter on a segue.
No, please
That's
don't.
how the guy who invented the segue died.
That's right.
He was bantering on a segue and he fell off the side of a mountain.
He thought he could do it all.
Yeah,
he really
that's right,
couldn't, though.
That's right, yeah.
So this actually lost
He's not a working mum. He can't do it all right?
No, he can't.
No.
What an idiot.
What are we talking about? Oh, yeah, Shaun of the Dead. So you're
That's
saying...
like us being killed by this podcast.
I don't say it now. It's a long way to the door, if I'm honest with you. It's a long way to the door. There's like a stool in front of the door. I could trip on that.
The PlayStation's powered up. You're going to have to get around those cords.
There's a heater on. I could
Yeah.
fall face first into it.
Trip on the dog.
The dog could attack me. It was getting real grumpy earlier.
Absolutely it was, yeah.
Anyway, we're going to die.
Yeah, but this lost its... So they had backing from Film 4.
Uh-huh.
And you wouldn't know this looking at it, but... So he turned down other directing jobs so he could do this, and
Right.
he went broke trying to
Yeah,
get this
right.
off the ground. He ended up borrowing money from friends,
Uh-huh.
including Simon Pegg. And then on the back of it, that though, you watching this movie, nothing about this feels low budget.
No, absolutely not.
Like, I know it's set basically in an apartment, some of the streets, and then a pub. That's
Yeah, right.
essentially... Oh, spoilers for all this, I guess.
Yeah, right,
by the way.
right,
But if
right.
you haven't seen them,
yeah.
100% watch these.
Straight up, stop listening to this.
Yeah.
take whatever time you were going to and watch them. Even if your normal commute would be you driving in a car listening to this podcast, switch it off, turn on Netflix on your phone, put it on your dashboard, and watch Shaun of the Dead.
Tape it to your rear vision mirror.
That's right.
Get out there. But no, like it's over.
If you've got those screens in the back of your SUV for your kids to watch like a DVD or something, what you do, start the car going, put it on cruise control, get out, ghost ride your whip, get in the back seat and watch it while you wait for...
before you hit the ditch.
Yeah,
you'll
that's
inevitably
right.
end up in. Yeah. But like this movie...
Do people still ghost ride the whip?
I don't think so.
Okay,
I never even heard the expression, I think, before this show.
Right.
So
now I just
do you want to
mention
explain
it
it?
non-stop. It's when you get out of your car and then...
I mean, I know what it is. You're telling me like I don't know. I know because you told me probably
you get out of
on
your
this
car,
show.
and when I say you get out of your car, I mean like a hi-fi hip-hop
I never
artist.
get out of my car.
But anyway, you get out of the car while it's moving slowly down a street, and you just let it roll down the street and you dance around it.
That's not a good idea, is
It's a
it?
terrible idea.
Have you ever done it?
No.
Have you done it outside your tram?
Yeah. You know it's...
It's a work vehicle, so it doesn't matter,
Doesn't
does
count,
it?
exactly.
Yeah.
Somebody else is paying the
How
insurance.
fired would you get if you did that?
Look, there's a safety switch, so I couldn't do it.
You couldn't actually get out of the vehicle.
While it's moving, no, it wouldn't work.
Really?
What I'd have to do is put...
Wait, so you open the door and then it shuts down?
No, you take your foot off like a safety switch and the tram will
What, you
stop.
don't have a brick?
Oh, yeah, good point. I should put a brick on. Should put a brick on the safety switch.
Oh, man. Your next shift's going to be very interesting.
Isn't it, though?
But, yeah, so this movie's 13 years old. I'm
Yeah.
watching it the other day. It certainly doesn't feel it.
No.
So basically, do you want to outline the plot? What do you think it was, Mason, and all that?
This is zombies in London.
But it's not just zombies. It's
That's
about
true.
friendship and
Friendship,
romance.
yep.
Bill Nighy.
Sean's a bit of a bloody man
He's
child,
29
isn't it?
actually in this, which is, I guess, the same
yeah.
age as Edgar Wright would have
Right,
been.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, we haven't. We haven't sorted our lives, so we're a couple of Sean's over here, aren't we?
That's right, exactly. So he works this kind of dead-end kind of department store job. Mm-hmm. And the first 20 minutes of this movie is you see the signs of the zombie apocalypse.
That's right,
But he's
yeah.
so kind of wrapped up in his own universe.
Yeah,
He just doesn't notice them.
Yeah.
Like there's two amazing shots in this film which are all one shot, one take, where he goes to the corner store in the morning to get a pack of cigarettes.
That's right, yeah.
Or milk or something, I can't remember. And he does it twice. The first time he does it, it's a regular day. And the second time he does it, the zombie apocalypse has happened.
Uh-huh.
And you see some of the people that he'd seen the day before, but he just doesn't notice.
Yeah.
He breezes right past zombies and...
Edgar Wright's really good at innovative shots.
Isn't he?
And I don't know if that's the way he thinks visually.
Right.
Or he sits down and he goes, what's a fun way to transition this scene?
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly. There's really quick cuts. They're like, okay, we got to go. You see a tie go up.
Yep,
right. Coffee gets poured. You know what I mean?
That's kind of his
snaps a briefcase
signature
shut
look.
or whatever.
Yeah, right.
It's really good. Yeah, and it kind of, having seen it in a few of his movies, you don't really get sick of it. It's always It's also so quick, so it's not like this again.
But there's also some fun. They're not really visual gags, but they're just pieces of visual interest where, if I want to jump ahead to Hot Fuzz, there's a scene where the two kind of dumb detectives are they're threatening Angel, Simon Pegg's character, and there's a scene where they just sort of
I know exactly.
they weave threateningly in and out of shot.
Yeah.
And it's just it's an incredible
amazing comedic timing.
Yeah, it's comedic timing, and they just sort of they're like this one two-headed character who sort of just weaves in and out. And I'm like, did they do that on the day? Is there a storyboard where they're like, move here, or did Edgar Wright just go, I trust you to do a funny visual, kind of thing, you know?
And it absolutely works. Yeah, and I guess actually, to both of those cops show up in other movies of his as
that's
well.
right, yeah.
That one of them is he works with him at the store or whatever.
That's right, yeah.
And the second guy is in the World's End. He's one of the main friends. But yeah, another great thing that a moment in Shaun of the Dead is where he's talking about the plan of what they're going to do.
That's right.
And we get 3 different versions of it of where they're going to go.
Uh-huh.
And it's just incredible. Like the way that they basically show the same thing 3 times.
Yeah, right. Uh-huh.
With slight tweaks. And it's just I'm not doing it justice. If you haven't seen it, you need to see it. They also actually call zombies in it, which is
nice.
Which is nice, yeah.
Now you said it was one. I think you said right at the start, this is one of the best zombie movies.
Yeah.
Does it work independently of you not knowing what a zombie if you're not a fan of zombie movies? Do you? I'm not a fan, but if you're not aware of all the tropes of zombie movies, is it still?
I think you'd be.
It's still definitely very funny.
I would say it would
Yeah.
absolutely, because it also establishes the rules of the universe.
That's true, yeah.
It's the same thing. You get bitten, you die. That's you slowly turn to a zombie. They're not fast zombies. Whatever.
Yep.
Did this come out just after 28 Days Later? Might check that
Probably.
because
Let's assume it did.
because there was an era.
It was a spate of zombie movies.
Yeah, and there was
It was 2004's Dawn of the Dead,
which is also good. Yeah, 28 Days Later is 2002, so it was
Okay.
before. And Dawn of the Dead, I think, was 2004. But I might be wrong. The Zack Snyder one, actually written by James Gunn. Yeah, it was 2004. So there was a few years where, and I'm sure there are other ones around this time as well, but those are the ones that stick out to me. Like, those are all really solid zombie movies. But I've, watching these, I can't go back to the old ones. The way that they're kind of paced and...
Yeah,
and
right,
all that.
right,
I know
okay.
that they're groundbreaking
Uh-huh.
and whatever and have amazing characters. But I just think these three movies are so good in their own...
Yeah, right.
And they cover all the tropes so creatively
That's true.
that this is kind of where it's at.
Yeah.
What else, Mason? I got a piece of trivia.
I'm ready for you. Yep.
I read this today. Nick Frost allegedly kept his genitals shaved throughout production to create a genuine need to scratch that scratch the character demanded. So that's pretty good.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. Do you remember hearing also that there's a part where they cross paths with another group of people
Oh,
trying to
zombie
escape?
hunters. Yeah. Oh, zombie escapees.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they're basically the same kind of group.
Yeah.
And it's got one of the guys from Little Britain,
Yep.
someone from Black Books, I want to say. Well, there's
Yeah.
also Dylan Moran from Black Books.
That's
is in it
right,
as
yeah.
well, and Lucy Davis from The Office. Tim, I think, is in this from The Office, is he?
There you go. Yeah.
I think he might be. I might be wrong. But I remember hearing that we're going to get that story.
Right. Sure. Yeah.
Do you remember hearing that?
I absolutely remember what you're talking
Yeah.
about. Yeah. But at the same time, it's you kind of don't want.
It's too late now, obviously.
Yeah, and I guess, and you wouldn't. I kind of wouldn't want Edgar Wright to cover the same ground again.
No,
like
yeah.
knowing now that he was going to do, a kind of a Bad Boys-esque British cop film, and then a weird, Invasion of the Body Snatchers kind of film.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want him to go back to the well and do another.
No.
I wouldn't want him to be the zombie movie guy.
No, absolutely not. Yeah.
It's like when, remember, there were rumors that there was going to be another Cloverfield movie because at one point TJ Miller's character meets sees another character with a camera, and they're like, "Well, it's going to be from this perspective." I'm like, "Well, I don't need to see it really,
No.
unless there's more monsters, different monsters."
Nah.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't need any of that.
That's right.
But there actually was, I read this also, there was a genuine sequel that was being considered. It was going to replace zombies with another monster. They decided not to do this. But basically, it was going to be called From Dusk Till Shaun.
Oh yes,
And it would continue the characters' kind of journey. All those who were left.
Yeah.
Because this movie also...
vampires.
Vampires,
Would have had to be
exactly.
vampires,
It's also, again, I'm kind of glad we didn't see that.
Yeah, right.
It would have been great, I don't doubt. But
I also very much like the idea of just these normal people who have to then transition to renowned monster hunters. I like the idea of that. They're like, well, we fixed this zombie problem. Now we have to go and fight vampires. I think that would be funny.
Exactly, yeah.
Mm.
But also, it kind of stretches the believability of this universe because they all do exist. Like, it is a trilogy, but they're starring the same people, but they're playing different characters.
Yeah, right.
And I feel like if it was the Shaun trilogy, then that would kind of take away from that.
Oh, sure, yeah.
I should mention also that Simon Pegg wrote this with him.
Yeah, right.
So there was the two of them together, which I thought was super cool.
But what I also love about just the Edgar Wright universe is he's I mean, and in a way, I guess a lot of them would have been brought to the forefront on their own.
Yeah.
Like, because they're all, everybody he gets involved is very talented and funny on their own. But
Peter
also,
Serafinowicz.
yeah, and Nick Frost, like the
Nick
idea
Frost,
that
yeah.
he kind of brought, he went, okay, we've got all these funny people.
Yeah.
Let's bring them to the forefront. And now they've all kind of got Hollywood careers.
Yeah, absolutely,
You know?
yeah.
It's like a bloody talent factory.
That's it.
But I mean, like Simon Pegg would probably have made it on his own, but like maybe Nick Frost, who's great.
Yeah. Well, Nick Frost isn't at the level of Simon Pegg, is he?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, like, he was just one of their funny friends.
Yes.
During Spaced, and they're before the filming of Spaced, and they're like, just bring him in.
Yeah,
he's
do.
a funny guy. I think he'd be great, and people would like him. And
Yeah.
then bam.
And that definitely plays well in Space. Like, their relationship feels very genuine.
Yeah,
Simon Pegg and Nick Frost.
Yeah.
And also, this other thing we haven't really mentioned. It is a moving picture,
Yeah,
not
right.
as in look at all these moving pictures.
Oh my God, there's a train coming at us. Oh.
I mean, as in there are some real emotional moments in this. Like, there's a bit where you find out Shaun's not really happy with his stepfather, who he went to live with him when he was 12, and it's played by Bill Nighy, who then turns into a zombie, and then their relationship is kind of mended, and Shaun realizes why he acted the way towards he did.
Yeah, right.
His mum also gets bitten, and then he has to end up killing his mum.
Yep.
And then also...
what a dilemma.
I know. And then at the end, we get Nick Frost. Nick Frost's character gets killed also. But then then at the end, Shaun's got him chained up in the shed, and they play PlayStation together or whatever. Which is still kind of sad.
Oh, it's really sad.
That's not kind of a happy ending. But also, Chris Martin's in this.
Is he?
He's in a news clip at the end. He's like... We're doing a zombie aid tour or something.
That's
I
right.
can't remember exactly.
Okay, right,
And I just watched it the other day. But I think it works as an action movie. It works as a zombie movie, and it works as kind of it's got an emotional heart. And I don't think it would have resonated as well if it didn't have that part of it.
Absolutely,
because it would have been just a really good kind of zombie movie. Yeah, great kills as well.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like it a lot.
Me too.
And if you haven't seen it, we just spoiled it for you.
That's right.
Well done.
Ta-da.
Yeah.
We warned you.
Yeah, we did.
We said get into a very dangerous accident.
And you chose to ignore us.
You chose. What were you thinking?
What were you thinking? Now, I remember you saying that Hot Fuzz is your favourite.
It is my favourite.
Is that still true of this day?
Still is. I think it's the one I've seen the most.
Okay, sure. It's very funny.
Yes.
I don't think it's my
What does
favourite.
that mean?
No, it's very funny. And
Okay,
I was going to then launch into saying it's got my favourite joke in this trilogy.
Is it the one where Simon Pegg flying kicks an old lady?
That's a great joke.
Yeah.
I remember laughing a lot in the cinema. But no, it's the bit where... do you want to tell the story of it, basically?
Oh, sure. So Nick Frost is Simon Pegg is Nicholas Angel. He's the best cop on the force in London. But
By a lot. Yeah.
By a lot, but of course he's kind of...
He's too good a cop.
He's too good a cop, but he's also unlikable and
a stickler for the rules.
He's a stick of the rules, and he's a real stiff cat. And so
Yeah.
they're like, let's promote you to a place where you'll be out of everybody's hair.
Yeah.
So
And
they send him to a tiny little town.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a dark underbelly in the tiny town.
Maybe there is. It's Midsummer Murders
Yes.
mixed with Bad Boys. Yeah. I guess is the best way to put it. And it does a really good job of parodying both.
And I think, mate, perhaps the Edgar Wright film you like the most is based on what genre of film you like the most. Generally,
potentially,
perhaps?
yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I don't know. Look,
I love action films and I love the quaint Midsummer Murder vibe.
yeah, that's right.
Uh-huh.
But I watched a behind the scene thing on this where Simon Pegg and him kind of mapped out the town in terms of these are the kind of people we want living in the town, these are the shops, and you get the sense of that, like it feels like a real community, like something that's plucked directly out of Midsummer Murders with the murders, but the murders are crazy.
Yeah, right.
A guy gets a church steeple skewered through his head and into his body, and he's stumbling around.
Yeah, right.
It's insane.
Yeah.
But no, my favorite joke is where Simon Pegg turns up to, I'm just going to call him Simon Pegg because that's just easier to me. For me, and because he's replacing the previous constable from the town, and he's meeting with the boss of the station, and the boss says really sinisterly,
played by that guy from Moulin Rouge.
Oh, what's his name? He's Bridget Jones's dad.
Yep,
we'll look it up later. Anyway, he's great, but he says,
"Cause you can."
He goes, but I tell you what, there's something that he had that you're lacking.
Yep.
And he goes, "What's that?" And he goes,
"A great big bushy beard." That's pretty good, yeah.
That's an amazing joke.
I think that's true.
And it also, he stumbles across that guy's body later, and he's got the beard.
He's just a
so
desiccated corpse.
It ties into the story, and it's a joke.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
I just think that's it's such a good joke.
Because you think that it's just the police chief is just this weird eccentric guy, and like, oh yeah, that's just a throwaway line. But then it turned out, we know what happened to him because he was horribly murdered by the rest of the town. Yeah.
Exactly. So the sinister kind of undertones of this movie is that to get their perfect town, they just basically kill anybody, and they've been doing it for decades.
Yes.
It doesn't fall in line with what is perceived to be the idea of a perfect, idyllic little British countryside kind of place. So it's mimes, it's like hoodlums, it's people who are bad actors.
Yep.
It's land developers. It's anybody who's it's bad chefs. It's just whatever. They just go mad, and it's it's got a really great moment as well where Simon Pegg from the get-go because he's such a great cop.
He always knows there's something
he's
up.
onto
Yeah,
it
I was just thinking
immediately,
that, yeah.
but nobody believes him.
Yeah, right.
And he has a full-on fucking meltdown in the police station while they're all telling him he's crazy.
Yeah, right.
It's an incredible scene.
Yeah.
And he's really good at it. And every other police officer is also amazing.
Yeah.
In particular, those two that you were talking about.
Yeah, right.
Who are the detectives who...
Yeah, and at one point, quite early on, like he's always aware that something's happening. Like there's the car accident where the
decapitated.
The couple are
actor,
decapitated, and he's like, we call them collisions because accident implies no one's at fault. You know, kind of thing, because he bloody
he's
knows
on it.
He
Exactly.
bloody knows it's a murder. You know?
There were no skid marks or whatever. And then
That's
they were
right.
like,
Yeah.
No, I love it. And there's the fly kick the old lady bit is amazing. The last half an hour of this movie, like it's Midsummer Murders, and then it is Bad Boys. It's because they make jokes about, have you ever jumped in the air firing two guns at once? And he's like, why would I ever do that? And then you see it.
Yeah.
He shoots a bear trap onto somebody's head.
Yeah.
There's a bit where
But nobody dies.
No.
It's all non-lethal.
It's all
non-lethal shots.
There's a bit where he shoots a hanging potted plant and it hits an old lady in the head and she cracks her head on a bonnet and just blood just sprays.
Oh yeah, look.
Maybe she does.
But I believe at the end
you see them all.
He arrests them all.
But that's the funniest thing because it's a shootout, but everybody is an 80-year-old person.
Yeah, right.
And it's then Simon Pegg just kicking the shit out of these people.
That's great.
And there's also the bit in the supermarket where they face up against the trolley boys.
That's right.
And they're just kids throwing peas. And they're like, oh, have you guys got this? We got to go. Yeah. And they're like, we'll take care of this. And they just start firing rounds into them. Yeah. It's incredible. It's an amazing film. And again,
like when we're talking like fun visual bits, there's the bit where Simon Pegg has to leap a whole bunch of fences.
Yes. Which is... it harkens back to bloody Shaun of the Dead.
Harkens right back.
Harkens right bloody back.
Is there a hedge jumping scene in the next one?
There'd have to be. I wish I'd... 100%
we've all got regrets, don't we?
We do, yeah.
And I think for us, it's not watching these movies again. Not just for this, but every time I talk about it, I'm like, yeah, I should get back to those.
Very funny,
They're really great. I should watch them while driving.
Exactly. Well, I thought I'll do Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz because I haven't seen them in a while. And I've seen The World's End more recently. But even now, I'm like, I can't remember enough of it to probably do it justice. Maybe we'll do an episode just on that.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
And
you know who else is in this?
Yes.
Kate Blanchett plays his ex, who's in a crime scene. He's wearing a mask.
Yeah.
And Peter Jackson is the Santa who stabs him at the start.
Huh. There you go. And all his immediate superiors are also famous people.
Yeah.
It's
Martin Freeman, Bill Nighy, and...
Alan Partridge.
Alan Partridge, yeah.
Yes.
Is that his real name?
No, it's Steve Coogan.
Steve Coogan, that's right. Exactly, yeah. It's the who's who of British comedy, and it's all the better for it.
And Timothy Dalton.
Not the final Bond to appear in the trilogy, but he's really good and really sinister. And also, that guy can still do action. Yeah. That's what else is amazing about these movies. You see the progression of Edgar Wright as a filmmaker, but it's not a jump that makes you go, oh, that last movie looks like shit comparatively.
Yeah, right.
But it does bring something new. This is a really good action movie.
Yeah. Interesting, right?
Yeah.
And it's, the thing about these movies is that every time I see one, I'm like, oh, I didn't know he could do that. Like, I didn't know he could do... And I'm sure after I see Baby Driver, I'll be like, I didn't know he could do a car chase scene. Yeah. And I wonder if it's always been in his hair. Like, do you think it's... Maybe we'll talk to him about it at some point. Maybe we'll have a bloody chat. But, like, do you think it's a case of he's always had these plans in his mind, or he's always had the skill set to do this? Or do you think he goes, okay, well, I've got to do a Bad Boys style shootout scene, so I'll learn about, like, I'll watch all the great action sequences and I'll learn it? Or do you think think he's always like, I've got an idea for this, and as soon as I get a chance to make a movie, I'm going to throw this in and this in and this in, and he's put it all together? Who knows?
I don't know. Maybe we'll find out soon, Mason.
Maybe we'll find out.
Maybe we won't, which is why we're not going to elaborate
fantastic.
on that.
Right, fantastic. All right, good.
But yeah, no, look, it's great. I don't really have anything else to say about it other than you should definitely watch it. I guess in the order that they come out as well, because I guess you'll get the callbacks.
Totally,
because there are a few. We should point out it's the.
But I guess if you watched them in any order,
it wouldn't really matter. Yeah, you're right. Actually, yeah. There are parallelograms.
There are a lot of parallelograms.
Palindrome. Is that it?
There are no palindromes.
Palindrome is the same forward as backwards.
Correct.
And parallelogram has its two vertical lines that never meet. Horizontal lines. It doesn't matter. Okay. Whichever way they're going.
That's not what a parallelogram is, but that's fine.
No. Yes, it is.
That's not.
Yes, it is. Look
Parallel lines are not a parallelogram. It doesn't matter. Anyway.
Parallelogram is bordered by lines.
Oh, a shape. Yes,
it's a shape.
Yeah, it is.
And those lines will never meet.
Okay, that's true.
Mason, I was a primary school teacher. I know too much about shapes. All right.
All right.
That'll be funny if that's not true. And I just taught the wrong thing for years. Yeah. There was a movie that came out between Hot Fuzz and The World's End, which really lacks the Edgar Wright kind of thing.
Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
No, that's great. I mean, that's very. Well, I think so.
Yeah.
But
Wait,
Paul,
what are you
do you
talking
remember
about?
Paul?
Oh, the alien movie.
Yeah.
No, I didn't watch it.
It's okay. It's not, but it's not on the level of these.
And Simon Pegg was in that.
Simon Pegg was in it, and Nick Frost was in it.
Edgar Wright write it?
No, I don't think so. I can look that up. I think Simon Pegg might have wrote it, and I think the reason being as well is because that movie had a bigger budget. I mean, there's a fully CGI character in it, so you kind of have to make. Directed by Greg someone.
So was this Edgar Wright sort of dipping his toe into Hollywood in terms of
Paul?
Yeah.
No, he didn't do Paul at all.
He didn't. Okay. Right.
Edgar Wright and Nick Frost actually wrote it. I don't think it's a bad film at all. I think it's absolutely fine. But it's clearly not. Yeah. If it lacks anything, it's the Edgar Wright-iness. That guy this director who did Adventureland, which I quite like. He did Superbad. Oh, so he's done some great stuff. Clear History, which I didn't mind. Keeping Up with the Joneses, I did not see. Yeah. All right, World's End, let's do it. You ready?
Right. Yes.
It's an alien invasion story, Mason.
What?
You mentioned it earlier. The body snatchers.
Yeah, right.
Style. What is this? What is it?
So Simon Pegg is he's a
loose unit.
He's one of the loosest units he's ever played on. He's normally a button-up nerd.
He is.
Like in Mission Impossible
even
films.
in Shaun of the Dead, he's the more responsible of the two.
Yeah, right. But in this one, he's playing against type. He's a very loose unit. He was always the
coolest kid.
He was the coolest kid in school, and he's gone away, and of course he's made nothing of his life. And now he's returned for a reason that I can't recall.
A pub crawl.
Crawl.
To reunite the old crew.
That's right, the old team.
Well, you find out the spoiler alert, you find out kind of later that he attempted suicide, and this is kind of him kind of working through his issues and kind of reliving his youth and trying to find value in who he is as a person.
And so he's come back to his own hometown to meet his old crew, all of whom have become like...
Who he tricks into getting there as well.
That's right, yeah. And they've all become like lawyers and professionals and et cetera. And they are not on board with this, but he's very good at convincing them.
He's insistent that they attempt this pub crawl, which they did 20 years prior.
Yeah, right.
Where they hit up all the pubs in the town and then go to the World's End and then watch the sunrise and whatever and do a pint at each.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think, I think we all know a character like that.
Yeah, absolutely we do. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's, not quite
stuck
moved
in the
on.
past. And,
the high school was there.
Well, I've said it before, like you don't want to make high school the peak of your of your life because you can't go back.
Yeah, right.
Never go back.
Never go back.
Yeah, but no, I don't think this misses a trick in terms of. Again, I have favorites and favorite jokes and whatever, and I guess we'll get into that at the end. But this is on par, I feel, with the other ones.
And again, it's one where I went, I didn't know we could do like
the bathroom fight
single shots like. Long no cuts kung fu action sequences or
incredible.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and this one is the most special effects heavy because
also I didn't know like Simon Pegg could do it or like anybody else in it. Like
Simon Pegg, I watched a few clips of this before. He's got abs in this.
Yeah, right.
He lifts up his shirt because he shows the tattoo. Because the idea is, of this movie, they go back to this small town where they're from, and everything's looking peaceful and idyllic. And what has actually happened is there's an alien invasion which is slowly taking over. They take anybody who's kind of weird or they feel that it's not right, and they replace them with a copy who is more kind of compliant.
Yes, right.
And it's sort of them.
Yeah,
I guess
right.
because a lot of people kind of willingly go along with it because a better version of them lives on.
Yeah, right.
But at the same time, it's a duplicate that's supposed to be better.
Yeah, right.
And you kind of don't know who's one and who isn't.
Yeah.
Actually, that's not true. It's very clear when one of them gets replaced. Actually,
right.
Now that I mention it,
and they sort of become these hollow China doll kind of creatures. Yeah,
which makes for some really great action sequences because you can split heads open and all that kind of. There's blue blood and that goes everywhere. And Pierce Brosnan is in it.
Yeah, that's right.
Also, who reappears. Oh God, I wish I had watched it. Yeah.
Well, look, we've all got regrets. Right?
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. But what I remember about it in particular is out of nowhere, seemingly, there's a really intense and amazing bathroom fight sequence.
Yeah, that's right.
With like headless headless teenage, robot men.
Yeah,
and
right.
Whatever.
That scene would definitely be on YouTube if you just want to
Yeah,
check
no,
that out real quick.
it was actually lined up
Oh, right.
before you got here, and I was planning on watching it again. Rosamund Pike is also in it.
Oh, yeah.
Who's really good. Who's kind of the ex-flame of Simon Pegg, but he's kind of she's moved on, but he obviously hasn't. And also, we should have mentioned this earlier. Like previous Edgar Wright movies, there's a lot of hints towards what's going to happen in the movie. Like each of the pubs is named after an event that happens.
That's
in the
right.
pub as
Yeah.
as they kind of go through with it.
Yeah.
And it's also probably got the grimmest ending. Where
because the whole world is
the whole
doomed?
world is destroyed because Simon Pegg convinces the aliens that Earth's not worth taking over, and this isn't going to work because there's always going to be people like him that kind of push back.
Right.
And in doing so, voiced by Bill Nighy, I think it is, he's just like, fuck it, fine. And they leave, and the Earth is ruined.
Yeah, right.
Because it turns out they were holding up a lot of society, I guess. Yeah. So, and then Simon Pegg ends up going on the road with the doppelgangers of his former friends.
Yeah, right.
Because that's what he loved. He wanted to relive his youth and all that kind of
and
thing.
now he gets to do it in a world with no rules.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And Nick Frost misses Cornettos.
Yeah. Which is it's the great thing about a universe that isn't based on a book or a comic book or a video game, or it's not part of a franchise, that you can just be like, you know what, the world's destroyed.
Yeah, exactly.
It's all of these movies, and like it's kind of, these movies, they're zombie movies and they're action movies and they're science fiction movies, and in a lot of cases you kind of do expect a happy ending for a lot of these ones.
Yeah.
Like especially like an action movie, you expect the good guys to win out and the world to be saved.
Yeah.
But and to be, thrown a genuine curveball of like, oh yeah, well I can destroy the world, so I'm going to. Why,
Who cares? Exactly.
Yeah.
I just wanted to look this up because I remember this being the case. Simon Pegg mentioned in 2014 that they're thinking of doing another 3 films. Another Cornetto Trilogy.
Hello.
Which is, look, I wouldn't be against it.
Right.
But it does make me a bit kind of nervous. And also I like that Edgar Wright can go and make films like Baby Driver and Scott Pilgrim.
Yep.
So, yeah, I don't know. How do you feel about that?
Oh, I'd be on board.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't even have to be, and
Is there that many Cornetto flavors? I guess there are now, aren't there?
I guess, well, there's some novelty Cornetto flavors.
Certainly.
You can move to drumsticks, which is my preferred ice cream.
Me too, actually.
My preferred coned ice cream, I think, is the drumstick.
Okay. I don't disagree.
Yeah. But I mean, as we've said, he's he started at 29, too late for us, and then he's gone through all the genres that he likes, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And as he becomes an older director and more mature, maybe he could do
like a Mad Max.
No, but I mean more like a Cornetto trilogy that skewers different tropes. Maybe he could do like the Cornetto trilogy version of Love Actually or something like that.
Right, okay, sure.
You know?
So it doesn't have to be a crazy action, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it would be nice.
Yeah, sure.
But
absolutely. Would you like to see like a Mad Max style, Cornetto trilogy film?
No.
No? Time travel?
No.
Time travel, you could do time.
You could do time. Yeah, actually, now that you mentioned he could do time travel, that would probably be quite clever.
It's amazing that he can do... Like, a lot of directors try this where they take a lot of things that they love and they kind of absorb it all and they spit it back out.
Tarantino.
Sure. Well, he's a good example, I would say.
But he's also... See, that's the thing. I feel Tarantino's also an example of, if you know his reference points, you know that he just took a whole scene from a kung fu movie in the 70s and he just replayed it with different actors or what have you.
Fair point.
You know?
Okay, fair point. But he can do that and it feels fresh every time. And it is those little moments like you're talking about, like that head weaving kind of thing. It's those little moments that kind of make these films. They're good in terms of the genre that they're in.
Yep.
But they add so much more to it. Yeah. And that's all I have to say about...
That's the tooth.
Yeah. And I think Shaun of the Dead's my favourite.
There you go.
Yeah.
Wow, just dropped that bombshell right at the end. Wow.
But that is... That's a situation where... I could watch any of them,
Oh, totally,
It just happens to be that was the one I saw first and, they're all great.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Anything else, Mason?
No, that'll do it.
Then I hope you're ready for what...
Wait, what do you reckon about Scott Pilgrim?
It's good. Maybe we should do an episode on...
Yeah, totally.
We could do an episode on video game movies that aren't based on video games. So there's that. There's Wreck-It Ralph. We need one more.
Then we can do it. That'll probably do it,
Yeah. No, we should... I could talk about it. I need to rewatch Scott Pilgrim as well.
But again, I think Scott Pilgrim, in my opinion, should have been sold, and you can't do it obviously, but it should have been sold as a straight up romantic comedy. Like all the trailers should have been like, this is a fun indie quirky romantic comedy, and then everybody goes to the cinema, and then it's video game kung
Probably
fu.
would have done better, I guess.
I definitely would
because
have
there were
done
a lot
better.
of Michael Cera kind of mumblecore movies from that era that did do really well. So
like a 500 Days of Summer kind
yeah,
of situation.
exactly.
Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah.
I
They
love
do
it when-
make a lot of good points.
I love it when people are tricked. Also,
Yeah, it's
Enjoy
good,
that
isn't it?
thoroughly, Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Mason.
Yeah.
It is time for then. What are we going to read?
Oh, yes. Then what are we reading for now, my friend?
I'm doing the thing. What are we reading today?
What have you been reading?
I mentioned this to you before the show. Secret Empire.
Oh, yeah, sure. Marvel's event.
like
What
it
do
a
you think
lot.
about? Okay.
I like it.
All right.
I like the twist on the Steve Rogers turned evil kind of thing. I wouldn't actually mind seeing that in a movie.
Yep.
But no, look, a lot of Marvel comics I have kind of dropped off, but
Uh-huh.
this one I've been reading month to month, and I really enjoy
Now,
it.
are you reading just the Secret Empire issues, or are
Yes,
you reading all the spin-offs?
I don't do spin-offs.
Okay, right.
I really don't. It's too much.
Yeah. So for anybody who doesn't know Secret Empire, in this storyline, it has been revealed that Captain America, the paragon of all that is good, has secretly been a Hydra agent all along
Yes.
because of some sort of time travel.
Yeah.
Some sort of...
There's been they use the cosmic cube to mess with his past and,
Right, okay,
and
yeah.
whatever, yeah. So but he still has the values of Steve Rogers, but the upbringing of Hydra.
Right.
So it's good. Like he's still you see the Steve Rogers in him still. You know what I mean? He's
yeah.
not just like a cackling Red Skull kind of
Sure,
kind of
right.
villain.
He's still... Okay, right.
Yeah. Like
He's still
got,
stoic and brave,
yeah,
etc., but he's
got a
just
lot of
prick
the
now.
virtues of
Right,
yeah,
okay, sure.
of
How many issues until it's wrapped up?
I think they're doing 8, and I think there might be 5.
And
in.
is there like a... Is the goal of the good guys to get access to a cosmic cube and fix everything? Or-
At the moment it is, yeah.
Okay, right.
But
That would make
who
sense.
knows how that's going to kind of...
Yeah. Do you think do you think Marvel would be bold enough to somehow keep this universe going after the storyline ends? Like maybe like end it and defeat Captain America and he's still
Right.
a villain of sorts?
Yeah, I think they could probably... Yeah,
Okay.
maybe.
What do you reckon about the idea that Hydra is too close to the idea of being actual Nazis for this to be a good like a sensitive
Like for today's kind of
yeah.
political climate.
Yeah, more in the sense like a lot of people, because if you're a person who's well up on comic books, you know that Hydra and Nazis are different.
Yes.
But for the large, if you go, okay, well, this is an organization that existed out of World War II, and it's this, and it's all about taking over the world and doing those evil things. I think a lot of people would be like, oh, so it's just Nazis with a different name,
Right, yeah.
because Hydra do that curious comic book thing where they're
Panels and word bubbles.
yeah, I know, right? How do they do it? Just banter,
know.
but it's printed. I don't understand. But like they do, it's based on a real villain, like a
Yeah.
real world villain. So they have to be worse, but at the same time better.
Yeah, because you can't do the real horrors of war.
Yeah. So like Hydra, they're like the Nazis, and they want to destroy the whole world. So they're
Yeah.
worse than the Nazis, but also they don't do any ethnic cleansing.
not racist,
So
yeah.
they're not racist. So they're better than the Nazis. So they're more palatable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's what you mean, yeah.
Yeah. So and a lot of people who are maybe not big comic book fans are like, you can't just have this is quite offensive to have like Nazis take over the world.
Right.
But again, I
don't
think
that's a...
yeah, well, I don't know because I think and
It's
a
a
lot of
story, you know
yeah,
what I mean?
exactly.
Like-
Yeah, it's like it's like the Man in the High Castle where you know Nazis have taken over won the World War II and they've
Yeah.
World War II.
The World War II.
The World War II.
The one that there was.
That's right,
The
yeah.
second one. There was only one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, what do
But
you...
you're enjoying it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not the greatest thing I've ever read, but...
Okay,
no,
what is
well
the
into
greatest
it.
thing you've ever read? My memoirs.
One day, I hope to read your memoirs.
Okay, cool.
What do we... Yeah, but no, it's... What are you reading? What is
Well, I'm
this?
going to read that Elmer Fudd Batman crossover.
Yeah,
I
me
just bought
too
it
now,
then, so
yeah.
that's going to be excited. I've also been watching Neil Blomkamp's short films.
We've been sent that by a few people.
Yeah, yeah.
Are they good?
I think they're good.
Yeah. Doesn't surprise
Look,
me.
they're like what he's doing is he's I don't know if he's paying for them off his own back or what have you, but they're
He
sort
must
of
have a production company.
yeah,
or
yeah, yeah. Like his
Government grants.
it's kind of like so the one came out a couple of days ago. It's called Firebase, and it's kind of like
Don't spoil it for me, Mason.
okay, so it's like it's a soldier and he's in.
I don't like to be spoiled. I like spoiling things for people.
That's true, you do, don't you? All right. So he's an American soldier and he's in like some sort of jungle. I think it's Vietnam, and like there's people who are appear to be soldiers, but they're actually like they've clearly got some sort of alien, gross kind of secret
Right.
kind of thing.
A
And
gross
they're-
secret.
Yeah, gross. And there's There's like it's this one's super gory.
Okay.
The previous one was called Raka, and it's like a post-apocalyptic kind of alien invasion.
Are they like 8 minutes each?
Yeah, something like
Give or
that.
take?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. They're real.
Does he direct them? Or is it
Yes.
kind of the thing? Oh, okay, so he does. So it's not like, oh, I've brought this director on board and this is kind of a...
I think so.
Okay. Well, yeah, either way. Yeah. I think well, he's obviously a guy who's got a lot of ideas outside of South Africa,
yeah.
it turns out.
I don't know what, like, because this one's sort of like found footage and there's like body horror and like that in like war movie and that kind of like, I don't know, he's kind of like, I don't know if he's just been like, I haven't done any of these things, so I'm just gonna, maybe he's just doing this as like a reel where he just throws in a whole bunch of stuff and sees what people like.
Well, I feel like
and if people are like, well, I would really love for him to do a war movie.
Yeah.
Maybe in the, then maybe that's what he'd do.
Yeah, and I guess also he's not exactly the golden child of Hollywood anymore.
That's
know
true.
What I mean? So maybe this is him trying to get a bit of traction.
Get a bit of traction, and then he can get some more funding, and he can do a movie about
Alien. Just do the alien.
Some aliens that are in South Africa, and there's a dude with a weird accent.
I just meant the Alien sequel.
Oh, okay, sure,
yeah. Because I do not want to see.
I meant every other movie he's done.
Yes, you did. Yeah. Elysium isn't set in South Africa, or is it?
It's set in.
I think it's in
space,
Mexico,
South
isn't
Africa.
it?
Yeah, it's probably in Mexico.
Yeah, I don't know. It's got Diego Luna from Rogue One.
Oh yeah.
Also, we mentioned this. We were talking about Superboys just before the show.
Oh yeah.
And in doing so, we came around to Superman's Secret Identity, which is basically it's a comic.
What is it called? Superboy Secret Identity?
No, it is Superman. It's
okay.
it's the real world, but it's a man called Clark Kent, and it's because I was getting confused because you were telling a very similar story.
I was telling a long, boring story.
Where basically Superman exists in comic book form, and this guy who's named Clark Kent suddenly has the powers of Superman.
Yeah, right.
And then I know there's a lot of what if superheroes but real life, but this is a really good one. That's from 2004. Watch it, Mason, on books in pages.
Watch it in book form. Okay,
yes,
cool. Comic books.
We should also mention the Q&A we've been promising for our campaign for men's mental health. We did it.
We sure did.
We recorded it Thursday.
Yeah.
It's ready to go.
Yeah.
But...
Oh, no. What?
Well, because everybody who's donated, their email has been sent to a specific address.
Yep.
And what Claire is going to do, or perhaps get someone else to do it, I don't know what she's going to do, because this was her idea, is going to go through and she has to retrieve every single email from the thousands that we've got so we can then mail it out to
There's
people.
like 3,400 of them.
Because, for privacy reasons, we cannot individually get the email addresses.
Oh.
But we can go through thousands and get it. So that's going to be happening at some point. So it's ready to go.
There's probably an app for that.
Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Nice.
I don't know.
Pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Anything else, Mason?
Nah, that'll do it.
Yeah, we'll keep you updated on that, though.
Mm-hmm.
Letters, Mason?
Letters time with a letters theme that's ready to go.
Oh.
That'll be kicking off any second now.
The classic one was letters, oh letters, we love you. Some letters, they're only a day away. Hang on, they're here right now. We're gonna do letters.
James spent that whole letters theme pointing at me threateningly with his creepy little pinky fingers. And
They're regular pinky
didn't
fingers.
Like it.
Look at them. Straight as an arrow.
No, I don't like it at all.
Okay, you want to do a tweet first or a letter first?
Let's see. This is from Matthew Blankus.
Yep.
And he asks, do you think we can reach a time when superhero movies and shows can be award-winning films and shows? Or is the stigma of these movies and shows being big and dumb too strong to reach that point?
I think we'll probably get there. I mean, you see elements of it every now and then, like The Dark Knight and special effects and whatnot.
Best picture, though.
Yeah, probably.
See, I think we're getting there with like Logan.
Yeah, I think
That was a
Logan
good film.
could be in the running.
What do you think pulls something out of the running for award-winning?
Costumes.
It's costumes, okay, right?
Yeah.
Right.
No, I think any kind of big budget kind of thing, because, like Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King winning Best Picture, that's unusual.
Yeah, right.
That's an unusual example of a winner. I don't even think it should have probably won. I don't even remember what came out this year. Shaun of the Dead probably could, unless that was 2004. Something else that year.
Yeah, right.
But, no, but look, the thing about awards is, to me, awards are bullshit.
Right.
They're given by people in an industry that's designed, and this is most awards for most things, everybody pats each other on the back.
Yep.
Awards are meaningless.
Oh,
really.
sure, absolutely.
Not all awards. I'm sure if we won any award, I'd be over the moon, and I would quickly
Absolutely.
rescind on what I've just
What
said.
if you won an award for worst banter?
I would revel in that. Is that because I've worked hard at it, or because I'm bad at it?
Because you're bad at it. Yeah.
Yeah, that wouldn't be as good. If I'd worked hard at it and got it, then I'd feel like, there would be some achievement there. But no, that's just being awarded for just being shit at something.
Yeah.
That's like a Razzie for banter.
Exactly.
Would that be the same year you win best banter?
No, because I don't think I could win. I don't think you could win good banter if you were just bantering at somebody who had no banter back. You know what I mean? Okay. You need a good banter partner.
You need to freelance banter.
So if you won worst banter, I would be dragged down with you, which is very disappointing for me.
I guess you would, yeah. But do you know what I mean about awards? Because every now and then there's
I get it, yeah.
Like we get nominated for a podcast award thing
That's
or whatever.
never happened.
No, it has.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like people put our names up. And I genuinely appreciate it, but I don't care if like a website that 2,000 people go to a year think that this is good.
Right, sure.
Like I care that people listen to this and, send us emails and, and get something out of it on some level. Everything else can fuck off.
Jeez, all right.
Okay. I'm not saying all awards are bullshit, Mason. I'm just saying who cares?
What if all our listeners got together and crocheted a quilt that said James #1 podcaster, and it had like a golden cup drawn on it? Would you like that?
Yeah, that would be incredible.
That'd
obviously.
be pretty good, right?
Because it means something.
Yeah.
Because it's an off-the-hand comment from you that somebody made a reality.
That's right.
That means something to me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Please don't go out of your way and do that, anybody, because I feel like that could.
I strongly feel that's where people are going to draw a line. Like sometimes we'll say on this show, wouldn't it be funny if this character was in this movie and somebody will make a nice piece of art about it? It'd be fantastic.
But crocheting.
I think starting a worldwide movement to get like a whole bunch of people to make a quilt.
I was just thinking one person would have done it.
Oh, right. Okay, sure. Yeah. Either way, no.
Don't.
Yeah.
We appreciate the thought.
Oh, also, a lot of last week or the week before we talked about, I don't know how it came up, but Jeff Goldblum does ads for Menulog in Melbourne.
Yes.
They're quite charming in Australia.
Yeah, you put it out there, didn't you?
Apparently, he also does ads in America at apartments.com.
Double paycheck.
Double paycheck. Double ad paycheck. He's just going mad. Alec Baldwin, who does ads for some sort of finance company in Australia, the name which I
Wide
forget.
Neckties.
Wideneckties.com.
Yeah.
He also does, in the UK, he does a ad for BT Broadband.
Okay.
So he's double paychecking as well, this guy.
I'm going to look up wide.
Also, Jeremy Renner and Ryan Reynolds also do ads for that. That's Reese Perry emailed us.
Okay.
weeklyplanetpod@gmail.com and let us know. A lot of people tweeted at us about it.
Excellent.
So good to know. Good to know there are these people just whoring themselves out.
I don't think there's any wrong with that.
No, I'd totally do it.
Planet Broadcasting and Do Go On's own Matt Stewart.
Oh, yes.
Is in an M&M commercial.
He is in an M&M commercial. That's right.
He's very good in it.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
You might see it on YouTube in Australia.
Oh, yeah.
Or maybe it's a worldwide thing. I don't know. Anyway, he's a good dude. He's been on the show. You've met him.
I've met him.
You met him before I met him. Yeah. Also, you mentioned the Gmail, weeklyplanetpod@gmail, if you want to send through an email or a hot tip or a hot scoop or a lie. You can also hashtag weeklyplanetpod on Twitter, like Liam Chatterton said.
The Chattertron. Oh, now if I'm going to get into some good banter out of anybody, it's the Chattertron. Here we go. I'm ready. Go for it.
Hashtag weeklyplanetpod. How likely is it that Superman's return will be ruined in a Justice League trailer a la the Wonder Woman reveal?
Ooh.
100%.
You think it's 100%?
Well, we know he's
coming back. That's true, yeah.
Yeah. There was that rumor of the trailer that he turns up and he's in the black suit and he's got the mullet and the beard.
That rumor's going to fly about, yeah.
Come on!
Just do it.
Just do it.
Film it now. There's still time.
There's time. You're reshooting anyway.
He's got time to grow a beard.
Yeah.
Or even have a beard stuck upon him.
We don't care.
We don't care. That's right.
That's all I want in life.
Yeah.
Yeah. And awards.
How much of I guess the question is how much of it do you think they're going to spoil?
I think they only need to be like, here he is.
I think
the same kind of way they put Spider-Man in Civil War.
Like I don't think they're going to spoil they can't spoil the return of Superman in a trailer because there's nothing to spoil unless they are going to go with the black suit and the mullet, right? In which case we might see the next Justice League trailer and then right at the end, like they do the title card and then like you see a door opening and there's a chest and it's got this black suit silver S. Like for a fraction of a second.
Nod your
I
head.
would like that.
Yeah, I agree. And for anybody who knows that comic would be like, woo.
Yeah,
imagine the woos.
Imagine the woos.
Comic-Con's coming up, Mason.
Yeah.
It's this month now.
I mean, yeah. And I guess because that's the thing. We're kind of in a bind because that would be fun to see, but I don't want them to spoil it. But at the same time, we know who's coming back.
Yeah.
So maybe he will be in the black suit and maybe he won't be in the black suit.
They got to put him in the black suit,
I
right?
hope so, yeah.
Anyway, we'll see.
For anybody who doesn't know, when Superman dies in the comic book series, The Death of Superman, he comes back in like a Kryptonian containment suit. That's
Yeah.
not his regular suit. It's a full black suit with no cape, and it's got a silver S on it.
I feel like it could look real sweet.
Yeah, could look real sweet.
Yeah, and he also had 2 impossibly sized VCR-shaped guns.
He did, that's true, he really did. And he had like a purple battle suit.
Yeah.
Like a giant drone.
Ah.
And he had a lot of exposed chest because it was like a boat neck
It was.
like suit.
And the mullet also came from, it wasn't a designer choice. It was because he'd been in hibernation.
And so it was supposed to be long hair,
Yeah,
yeah.
it wasn't supposed to be a mullet, but then they kept it for ages,
Yeah,
didn't
right.
they?
They did, yeah.
So good. Anyway, look, I wouldn't be upset if they did spoil it because we know it's coming.
Yeah.
So, yeah. You know what I would actually like to see?
Here we go.
And I can only think
What's
of
this guy gonna want?
one example of this. In the original Return of the Jedi trailer, or one of them, when Luke Skywalker ignites the green, as Star Wars loves to talk about, on the sail barge, it's actually blue. They saved that reveal for the actual movie.
There you go.
So I'm wondering if they could... They won't do it, but if they have the regular suit Superman, and then you go in and they've changed it to the black suit.
Maybe.
We don't really kind of see that stuff.
They could do that with technology these days.
That's what I'm saying,
yeah,
Mason.
mate.
That's what I'm saying. Got another tweet here from Jake Lamont.
Ooh.
Good work, Chattertron.
Yeah, I was going to say good work, Chattertron. We got some sweet banter out of that, so good work.
He just says, #WeeklyPlanetPod. What do you guys think about this? Will it be any good? There's a link to an article. Do you want I could elaborate?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
I got to work on my banter, don't I? Sci-Fi has picked up a Tremors reboot series starring Kevin Bacon. Here's a synopsis.
Right.
Nevada, 25 years ago, and he's back, and there's this is not written well, or I've copied it wrong. The town's only hope for survival is Valentine McKee, brackets Bacon.
I'm sorry, what's his name?
Valentine McKee.
Was that his character in the original Tremors?
I don't know.
All right. Was he in the original Tremors?
Yeah, he was. I thought you were a Tremors fan. That's why I brought this up.
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm not against it. I just...
But to do it again, you'll have to overcome
Why
age.
would you assume I'm a Tremors fan?
Because you like stuff from the 80s.
I guess.
Yeah. New Coke, you're a big fan.
I'm not a fan of New
alcohol
Coke.
and a delusional hero. So it's The Force Awakens, but Tremors, but a TV series. So I guess it's more Evil Dead.
Yeah, right, okay.
Yep or no?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, sure. I like Kevin Bacon.
Yeah. Wait, does this mean that he is the same character from the original?
I think it's the Ash for the Evil Dead kind of thing.
Right, okay. Yeah, why not? Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Kevin Bacon. He's pretty good.
Me too. I like him a lot.
Yeah, right.
Very good. Also, I'm sorry we didn't get as much banter from that one,
okay.
Jake.
Look,
but that's Mason's fault.
That's if you wanted to get more, you should have run it through the Chattertron.
That's right.
But you didn't. So
I'm imagining like a big on the top of it's like a big plastic wind-up teeth. You know,
it's got wind-up teeth and it's like holding a glass of lager. It's got one robot arm and it's holding a big froth because that's how you get the best banter. And it just sort of waves it about and splashes some froths about, you know.
But it's not like how's the weather. It's very specific.
It's how's your father.
How's your father's, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
exactly.
that's right.
Yeah. I want to also point out that Cody Rogers got a tattoo of an Infinity Gauntlet holding a Han Solo
that's right.
blaster.
Yes, he sure did. That's another thing I got written down here. Yeah,
which is very, very cool. And
Yeah.
might be a reference to this very podcast.
Nah, it's probably a coincidence.
Yeah, could very well be. Yeah.
yeah.
I think that's the second tattoo. Is that right?
It's the third.
What's the second one?
There's
the Grab That Gem one.
There's two Grab That Gems.
Oh,
I think.
okay. There you go. Okay. Right.
Yeah.
Very good.
Hello.
Hello indeed.
Yes.
Is that the show for this week?
I think it is. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad.
Me too.
All right. This one's a tiny bit shorter. Good.
But we're still recording, so that's
I don't know.
good.
I'll find out in the edit.
Oh no!
Where can people find
You can
us?
go to Weekly Planet Pod on Facebook and Gmail and Twitter and Bandcamp and other things. Just those things.
Just those things.
PlanetBcasting.com, soon to be PlanetBroadcasting.com is where you can find all the stuff, I think.
If all goes well, Mason.
That's right. Let's see, I'm at Wikipedia Brown on Twitter.
I'm at Mr. Sunday Movies.
If you'd like to support the show, you can go to patreon.com/Mr. Sunday Movies. If
Chuck
you
in
want to donate a couple of bucks.
Chuck in $1 or $2.
Chuck in a buck.
Chuck in $10. Chuck in $1.
Chuck in a buck.
Chuck in $1.
That should be our little thing we say. You know, funny. Sometimes we say a funny little thing that rhymes.
Sometimes, yeah.
Sometimes you know, a funny little thing that rhymes when we chuck in a buck.
Yeah. I feel like that's the...
The fact that we've
the
taken
Chattertron-
the fact that we've taken nearly 200 episodes to think of that is why we need your help.
That
By
feels
help,
like-
I mean money.
The Chattertron, that's something like he's maybe collecting for a meat raffle.
Yeah,
so he's got a rattly tin. He's like,
think
chuck in $1.
Chuck in a buck.
All right.
But also you can go. We've got an Amazon affiliate link in the
Yep.
episode description. You click on that if you want to buy. I wonder if there's got to be a Cornetto Trilogy box set,
Oh, of
right?
course there would
with
be.
bonus content.
Yeah, the bonus content is Paul. There's 4
All
movies.
right, fair enough.
Yeah.
Can I pay more for not that?
It's not that.
That's mean.
It's
I've never seen
okay.
it. I've never
It's
seen it.
absolutely
All right.
fine. Yeah.
Yeah. But if you want to bloody get something like that, just click on the episode, click on the bloody link, and you get it at the same price. We get a kickback somehow.
That's right.
How amazing is that?
Next week,
Yes.
Spider-Man: Homecoming, and I guess Baby Driver.
Probably.
Which is
Yeah,
pretty
it's going to be
exciting,
great.
yeah.
What else? Do we say anything else?
Well, if you have an opinion on either of those films, maybe tweet them through, and we'll hopefully.
Or if you've got a
get some.
favourite scene from the bloody Cornetto trilogy, I would like to hear about it.
It's
I'd
the
like
beard joke, obviously, but yeah.
It is the best
A
joke.
great big bushy beard.
Because you can't. Anyway.
Jim.
Yes, it's
Cummings.
Jim. No.
Hey,
Jim Caviezel. It's not that. Anyway, but you can also go to, you can also bloody, thank you, the Brute and the Basilisk and Rack and Roll theme.
Jim Broadbent.
There we go, the great man. Thank you to everybody who bloody listens and gives us a nice review and tells somebody about it.
Yeah.
That's the key.
That helps a lot.
Yeah.
Have a great week.
Wait, anything else?
No.
Sometimes there's...
Wrap it up.
We've got some t-shirts. They're on tpublic.com.
Wrap it up, Mason.
All right. Grab that gem, you guys. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
This podcast is part of the Planet Broadcasting Network.
Visit planetbcasting.com for more podcasts from our great mates.